Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Saturday morning edition of Nat20Hot. We are so grateful that you chose to join us today, and we hope that you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. I know we did playing Baldur's Gate, so we can only hope that you had just as much fun as we did. Um, Now, if you're joining us for the first time, we are a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons campaign. We stream for fun, but we also stream for the children. So if you check the link in our chat, you will find a link to our Extra Life team page. Extra Life is a wonderful charity that supports children's hospitals around North America, and every donation goes towards funding critical and life-saving care for children in need. So if you find it in your hearts, find it in your wallets, please feel free to drop a contribution. We have lofty goals for this year, and we hope that each of you will help us get there. Little light on an intro today, so I'm gonna go ahead and dive on into it. To start with, that the last time out, our party enjoyed a quiet celebration with the people of Misthold. Many of them were much more partial to sleeping off the months of nightmares forced upon them by Lady Ophelia. So very few denizens chose to linger, but many did express their gratitude for the party's efforts. Some in more ways than others, as Willem got to spend some very nice quality time with Mara, a young resident of Misthold. And Mara escorted Willem to an interesting and peculiar looking vessel that was half sunk in the waters of the Misthold swamp. Looked a lot like a boat, but also not quite like a boat. And Willem informed his compatriot Randy of this, who was a little bit too busy reading through additional pages of the etheric compendium and suffering additional touches of madness to force himself further upon the pages, but learning many interesting things, including about the presence of a great tree that was planted by the gods to um, protect the barriers between the realms. Um, I don't know what you two are doing, but um,
We're just pantomiming.
okay. Um, After that, they decided to head out towards the boat again, where they surmised that potentially the bodies, that is what the boat looks like, the bodies that they felled before Lady Ophelia's house might have something to do with this boat. And so went off on a journey to greet the bodies and raise them from the dead, speak with them, and find that they were indeed ancient members of a civilization called the Lobes. And they were, yes, they spoke with the skeleton, and they learned that only navigators can navigate the vessels that they found in the swamp waters, which is why it cannot be read by comprehend languages. Additionally, they learned that the navigation school exists just a few miles to the north of where they sit in an ancient city that Branwen has surmised is actually the current place of the city of Old Hallow, the capital of the Autumn Court. And so that is where we find ourselves with our party reasoning what to do next and deciding their next course of action. It is still in the early to late morning. There's a gentle mist that rises from the swamp. The Lady Ophelia's house, cast in a tantalizing sunshine in comparison to how you first discovered it, where darkness seemed to just envelop this whole place, and the bodies that you had felled just a few days prior lie at your feet. What would you like to do?
All right, we're going to some mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Should we tell Amara what we learned about the boat before we leave, or
I do have to say goodbye to her, or that would be the gentlemanly thing to do.
I thought she already hates you.
Yep, well, still the gentlemanly thing to do to say goodbye. She
All
also
right.
hates me because she thought that, you know, I was just leaving, among other things.
I mean, you still
well,
could.
I still could, but I don't think I will.
Okay,
Yeah, no, I'll do the right
let's
thing.
go march through this swamp again.
And you're
you,
sure there's no way we could animate a skelly man to drive the boat for us?
that's not the way that animate dead works.
So,
Or raised
well,
dead, which I
Unless
have
God was
now.
really cool.
I think the gods are really cool, especially Adara.
I think so too. Hey,
You
speaking
think
of
she can help
gods,
us?
did you know that Thalor, that's the guy that you worship, right?
I don't know about worship, but mountain god justice. Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
cool with that.
know that Thalor committed a lot of genocide?
No, I was unaware of that.
This book that has the history of the entire universe told me.
Was it by any chance genocide against hags?
No, I would have
Oh,
excused that.
You would have
mm,
excused that genocide?
I can excuse genocide by hags, but when it comes to genocide in general, that's where I draw the line.
yeah.
Like a line from
Uh,
Community, or it's like, and I draw
Yeah,
the line at animal cruelty.
that's what I
yeah.
was. Yeah.
Well,
We here at Nat20Hot do not excuse
We
genocide
do
of any
not.
kind.
Unless it's hags.
Well,
Depends on the hags.
but like fantasy hags, not just haggard old women.
I think the
Kill
world needs
all
more.
old women.
No!
we're gonna get
Yeah,
canceled this
once
time for
they're over
sure.
30, they're no good to anybody.
Anyway,
Calm down, Leo
Off to a good
DiCaprio.
start here. Yeah, so just thought that you should know. Let's go to the mountains.
Well, sounds like another dark element of my past to reckon with.
What, mountains?
No,
kind of.
knowing that
Thalor.
Is it
Thalor, genocide, not great.
is it your past if like this happened like a month ago?
Yes. By definition of the word
Yeah.
past, yes.
Although
Alright.
to be fair, Willem, all the gods were kind of up to shady shit back then. It seems, except for Adara.
I'm just
Yeah?
thinking like someone's like, I have a really dark past, but really they just had a really shitty week last week.
I mean, would you say you had a dark past of like their parents died last week?
No, that was just a bad last week.
I think I can find
I would say my parents died last week.
Oh. Well, I'm have a flair for the melodramatic, so I would say have a dark past.
You're just telling us now? Oh man, how could we not know?
Yeah. Theatrics. We're all
Let's
playing D&D.
go to a
Let's go.
mountain.
Yeah. Well, first we gotta say goodbye to Mara, or I have to say goodbye.
Oh,
And
you
maybe
gotta
we
get
have to
broken up with again.
We were never together, so we can't be broken up with.
Cool, let's go.
All right. I will say that you all were kind of
Man.
antagonizing one another during that walk back to Misthold, which is fairly short now that you are comfortable and know the way. And you find Mara in her traditional place outside of her tent, weaving a basket, and she kind of looks up at you and grumbles as you all approach. And she goes, "Decided to come back then."
Yes. To say goodbye.
Ah, well, would have guessed it, but it was nice of
Nice
you
basket.
to come back and say goodbye, I suppose.
I try to do the decent thing most of the time.
Well,
Yeah. Your vessel, we tried to animate a skeleton to get it to well, we thought about animating a skeleton to get it to fly, but apparently that's not how that works.
okay, so you didn't learn anything?
Um
We did, but nothing that we can really use right
That
now.
boat flies.
A flying boat.
Not a boat. They were very clear about that. It's a vessel.
Oh, flying vessel. Um, well, I mean, just kind of perks up a little bit. She's that's more than I knew before. Um, yeah. Well, if I learn anything about it, can I send to you?
Sure. Also, please do not let Eldrin find it. I mean, I don't think you were planning on doing
Yeah.
that anyway, but it's probably best that he doesn't know about it.
Do you have any sense why he might be to want to know about it?
Well, we did learn, I believe, if my recall is correctly, that you had to be specially trained back in the day to navigate with one of those. You needed to be a navigator. And the old navigator school is from Old Hallow, which is also where Eldrin is coming down from. So
There's no.
I get the sense that there's some connection there, and that he's probably here in Misthold, which, no offense, darling, but is kind of in the middle of nowhere because he's looking for something of that nature.
Yeah,
Fair
if you're like
enough.
looking to try to like navigate and use this thing, there's a college called Litrioff in Old Hallow. Go for it.
There's no college called Litrioff in Old Hallow.
I mean, he was a very old man, to be fair.
Also dead.
Well, people in this part of the world are usually more obsessed with what's used to be than what's coming to actually happening here and now, so it doesn't surprise me. Well, thanks, I suppose. And for what it's worth, I enjoyed your company.
The feeling is mutual, and I just wanted you to know that, I did my due diligence on your cool boat vessel.
I appreciate it. So where to for you all now?
Willem sort of puts his hands on his hips and turns to Randy.
We're going to the Shimmerpeak Mountains.
You guys just have a fancy for things that might kill you, huh? What business do you have there?
Uh, I'm gonna go see what it's like, why chosen ones are around, and what I should do.
She kind of looks over at you, Willem, and like raises an eyebrow. Well, all right then.
Yep.
Good luck.
It's bog standard hero stuff.
Sure. Good luck.
Praise Adara.
Okay.
Uh hopefully I'll see you again someday. This was pleasant.
Yeah. It was.
I give her a little wave and I turn away.
All right.
Not even a kiss. Not even a smooch.
She didn't. Was she expecting it? Did she want it?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I didn't think we parted on the best terms, so it didn't seem appropriate.
It's probably a good call.
Yeah.
All right. You all are situated in the town of Misthold. Is there anything you'd like to do before heading off towards the mountains? I don't. It is very clear what direction they are in. You can see them on the horizon. But is there anything you'd like to do, buy, see, take care of?
Very, very quickly, I'd like to stop by the potion shop now that I'm friends with, or the alchemy shop, or whatever.
The apothecary, yes.
Yeah, very, very quickly.
All right. You head off down the road, and the shop is there. Let me remind myself who works there.
A very
Someone that
scared
he
and friendly lady.
terrorized.
Yes, I just forget the name.
While Randy is in the potion shop, I am going to spend some time casting a spell, and use Find Steed and try my hardest to make it be a giant rat with human teeth that I could ride on, and human hands.
Divorced. But he still wears the ring.
Lila is the herbalist that you're looking for, Randy, and she hears the door kind of open, and she goes, "Oh, it's you. I'm sorry if I was ever well overwhelming towards you. I do apologize."
You're good. You were gripped with terror.
I, I certainly was. Is there something I can help you with?
Yeah, so I kind of came in earlier. You weren't here. I took a bunch of your stuff for the comprehend languages potion like I did the first time. I paid you accordingly. I think I left money on the counter.
I found it,
Um,
yes. I
I was just
assumed it was you.
Oh, good. I was just wondering if you've got like any more in the back that I maybe missed.
Oh, I'm afraid not. Um, Supplies are thin here in this particular part of the world. Not much grows. I do what I can to tend to the garden in the back, and what I can ship in from Old Hallow or some of the other cities. But unfortunately, most people don't like to send things to Misthold these days. Hoping, hoping that'll change thanks to the good work you and your companions have done.
I'm sure it will. Well, okay.
You're
Thanks
welcome to
anyway.
look through the rest of my stores if you're interested.
No, that's okay.
Right, well, fair enough. Um, where are you off to now?
Mountains.
Oh, well, uh, do be careful. They're quite dangerous. Um, and you've been good
Do
to
you know
us.
like a lot about them?
I've never been in them myself. It is common for, well, for a while, it was common for people to go through on pilgrimages. Uh, I imagine they're taking a bit of a longer route to skip through Misthold, as it were. But it is, it is a destination for people. I presume you'll be headed to the Temple of Isolde.
That's the one, yeah.
Yes. Well, I've heard wonderful things, beautiful, but I've never seen it myself. Too timid, and she kind of taps on her knees. Just too timid and too short to be taking journeys such like that. Something tells me you'll find yourself just fine.
Uh yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. Is there any like specific dangers that you have in mind? Like is it more monsters or is it
Um,
more falling
well,
forever?
I'm not really quite sure about any monsters, but it's more so the falling forever thing.
Hmm.
Floating mountains and such.
Gotcha. Well, okay. That's You've been a great help. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And I leave.
As you leave, you exit the apothecary to find your companion standing next to a large, gray, rotund donkey that looks like it might be some cross between a horse and a rat. There's features of both. Um, it's missing patches of hair in different places. Its ears are more tiny and round than long and floppy, and it has like large buck teeth that stick out of its donkey mouth. But for the most part, it still is more structurally akin to a donkey than a rat. But
Wow,
Is it
you
it's
see,
divorced?
beautiful.
there's no ring on its finger, so
Oh my god, he's given
Willem
up on her.
is just looking at it, shaky voice, and sort of extends a hand and goes, "Is that you, my old friend?"
the donkey looks at you like a donkey would, kind of like timidly pulls its hand away.
I turn to the party, tears in my eyes, and I go, "It's him. It's Cheezers. He's
That's
back.
not that's not Cheezers.
He's different this time."
I'm happy you're happy, man.
I love him.
I go to hug the weird creature's neck and just, yeah.
Make an animal handling check with advantage since it is your steed.
Uh, let's see what that dice is.
That is such a
That's gonna
cute.
be a solid 12.
Yeah, it's anxious around you and like pulls back a little bit, but inevitably it doesn't like nuzzle you or anything, but it does its breathing slows and it kind of accepts the affection from you.
I sort of pat him on the neck and I'll go, We'll get back there, old friend. It's okay."
All right. So you all head out towards the mountains.
Riding on my new steed. Yes, I do.
Just him's riding something.
All right. Um any
Oh, wait, Dunk, can I have a piggyback ride?
Absolutely.
Yes!
So
Uh,
Randy's the only one.
and Cena.
I'm the only one unburdened.
Cena walks
Cena.
alone. Yep. You make your way in the general direction of the canoe where Mara first led you towards the vessel, Willem. But instead of kind of breaking right towards the waterfront, you continue along the path that cuts towards the mountains, which, as you begin to walk, loom ever larger and ever present on your horizon. Nice mug,
Word.
very nice mug. Um, and
Character.
they loom ever larger. Um, the cottonwood trees begin to thin, and the water around you kind of seems to subside, giving way to very damp, pungent soil. Your boots and your feet and hooves just sink deeper in and kind of catch constantly behind you the more you trudge along out of the wet, swampy confines of the of leaving Misthold behind. Um, Cena will approach you, Randy. She's so we're putting a lot of effort into this. What is it that you expect to find at this temple?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, you heard what I heard from the guys at the Adara
Yeah.
temple.
And that necklace that she gave you? You still have it?
I do, yeah.
And we're sure we can trust these people?
They seemed really chill,
Yeah. It's
and
just
they were servants of Adara. I've never met a bad one, so
right, right. It's just have you ever thought about the fact that you don't really look, act, or feel like a cleric?
what a weird question to ask, Cena.
Well, I just feel like I'm being more open. I'm trying to be more open with you all. She kind of throws her hands up towards the group as she's walking with you all. And
I like look back from on Dunk's back. What?
I just, even when we, traveled together the first time, you talked about her for sure, but you weren't really like cleric Randy. Like you didn't bless things or consecrate marriages or help give burial rites. Is that pretty common for clerics of Adara?
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I have put very little thought into this.
Okay.
I mean, Adara, a lot of thought goes in there. Specifically, the cleric part of it. Yeah, it just seemed like something that
You believe in her, and so you are one.
no, I believe in her, and also I think that I like people and people being alive, and uh uh, just felt like a cleric thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is not something that I've really considered.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Do you not see me as a cleric? Adara chose me as her cleric.
Yeah, she did. So, Branwyn,
Hey, wait, hold on. Can I insight check that
sure.
that that whole thing? Ah, shit.
7.
You don't really glean anything beyond just genuine curiosity from the young lass.
All right.
So, Branwyn, this is also kind of the way to like your home, right?
Uh, ish. Yeah.
It's exciting. Are we gonna go there?
Is it? Um. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the best idea.
Hmm. You don't want to see your mom.
No.
Yeah, I kind of got that. Your dad
Yeah.
doesn't really seem to like her.
Yeah. I don't know if many people do anymore, or if they did to begin with.
What? But I guess like I know your sister tried to kill me and all, but like you two seem to turn
That
out
was the one
okay.
time.
Yeah, you two seem to turn out okay. What could be so bad about her?
She's a huge bitch.
Willem is visibly suppressing the urge to say multiple things. A little vein in his forehead is starting to pop.
Yeah, well, I mean, is everyone okay?
What?
Everyone feels a little like repressed right now.
Now?
I mean, I don't know. We just did a good thing.
Yeah,
Willem got laid. That feels like new for him. And
one of two times.
we killed a hag. I feel like you guys
Yeah,
seem pretty down in the dumps, except Willem. I guess that's
I
pretty
mean,
par for
I'm
the
I'm
course.
dying,
Oh,
so you
Well,
know.
not exactly like actively dying.
No, I'm passively dying. That's accurate. But I guess I always was. I guess we all are.
it's kind of how life
Kind of a
works.
depressing thought, huh?
Yeah.
Unless you're an elf. Just kind of looks over at Bramlin.
Yeah. I'm old. Technically, I guess.
You know, not
Honestly,
technically you are.
Yeah, I think I'm technically the oldest one here.
By a lot.
Oh, God.
By like 80 years.
That's creepy.
Oh,
Yeah.
do we start calling you Grandma Branwin? Branwin?
You know what? I feel like normally that'd piss me off, but I do think that's funny, so I'll let it. Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's something out of my mouth, so 9 out of 10 times it's probably going to piss you off.
Nah, I think that's funny. Just
Okay.
because, like, Randy's technically, like, not technically, but he is the oldest one here.
I'm like, I don't know, 50, 60, something like that.
Late
I
40s.
think 58.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought you were late 40s. I could be wrong.
I might have said that at some point.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm older.
Yes.
And
Mature.
you know what? Randy probably doesn't know either.
It's true.
do any of us really know how old we are with all the weird like back and forth between different planes of existence?
Actually,
a
no,
great
that's
question.
true.
Good point.
I don't want to think about that too hard.
No, you're right, Cena. I appreciate you kind of being the voice of reason and positivity sometimes.
I know
don't
that's not
think
what I'm used to being, but I'm trying.
you're doing a
Yeah.
good job.
What about you, Cena? Are you good?
I'm great.
Is she great?
Make an insight check.
Brandon is now
Thank you.
realizing that Colette's not as much younger now.
Yeah.
Chris, I rolled an 18. Is Cena great?
Yeah, I mean, for all things considered, she's probably the best you've ever seen or heard her. She's in a good
She's
mood,
probably
and
the best I've ever seen her.
yeah, if I've ever seen her.
Ah,
Yeah, she seems to be in a very sunshiny mood, and oh,
Is her mood noticeably different after I disappeared that night? And maybe there was a conversation that happened that I don't know about,
I don't
and
know.
then maybe that improved her mood?
It's just this particular day. She seems bright, bushy-tailed. Um, I'll have Bramlin and Dunk make perception checks.
Oh boy.
things might be different.
Oh, I did good. 23.
Bramlin, you feel this like weird tugging on your waistband, and as you like
Oh.
look down, you see a duo of pixies lifting your rapier out of its scabbard.
Go on, get!
You can make a
Get!
sleight of hand check to attempt to swat them away.
Oh shit, I got a really good sleight of hand. 14?
They manage to dodge out of the way and land perfectly on either side of your shoulder. Um, and they like start to shout in your ear very loud. We flit, we fly, we hide from your eye. Catch us quick or say goodbye.
What? Stop it!
Invisible we are not, yet hard to see. In laughter mischief we hold the key.
What are you guys doing here?
We are just wondering what weary travelers would be walking into the mountains so dead and deadly.
Okay, well, stop stealing our stuff.
Oh, we have much to have kept.
Willem does a
What?
quick pat down. Has anything been stolen?
All of you can roll investigation checks to find out if you're missing anything.
18.
13.
2 nat 1s in a row.
17.
Willem and Randy, you don't notice anything has been stolen, but Dunk, you find that the coin purse has been lifted.
No!
The entire bank of Dunk?
I guess a treasure
it was
hidden,
so-
treasure
I think-
took. Find it fast,
bigger
don't
than
over.
scary.
They burrowed inside his folds, Chris?
They did.
They were
so
tunneling.
wet.
Honestly, at that point, they deserve a little
When
compensation.
you rolled 2 nat 1s, that's what happens.
Okay,
Um,
come on, you two.
Round and round,
Yo,
merry chase. Catch us now if you embrace the race. And they will fly off to the right.
Oh god. I just hop off Bugs back and I start going.
I'm just gonna follow on my horse donkey rat, and I'm gonna grumble loudly. Why is everything in the Feywild so goddamn annoying?
Bramlin, I will have you
Sorry,
make
this just happens sometimes.
survival checks to attempt to locate and follow the creatures.
That is a 17.
Okay. You are able to follow the creatures to a small clearing where one of them kind of like kicks back on a stump. The other one remains to be seen. And they just kind of look at you and go, "Hoo, a bright one, hair of red. Find us now or be filled with dread. What is it that you seek?"
I seek the bank of dunk that you stole.
Hmm.
You little freak.
That's not very kind.
Sorry, I was trying to rhyme.
Well, if you're not good at it, you shouldn't do it. We skip it sometimes when we can't think of anything good to say, and so should you.
Oh. You know what? That's fair. I do apologize.
If only you were a
I-
little brighter, might have found what we were stealing.
I just really like their inconsistent rhyming scheme.
Okay, yeah, okay, you got us. Can we have
What?
You did a really good job at stealing from my friend's folds.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
And so now
How was
you
that
want it
experience
back.
for you?
Weird.
We would.
So dark and sweaty. And not the least bit furry. But now you want it back. Is that true? We'd be interested in a trade.
What kind of trade?
We like that sword. You knocked us off before we could take it. If you want your money back, we'll take the sword instead.
I like this sword a lot.
Like it more than money? Like it more than your friends?
How much money was in the bank and done?
3,200 gold.
Fuck. Have the others caught up yet?
I'll say by now, yes, they have followed you there. Willem, you are lagging behind because the dense rock and thicket is a lot on your poor little donkey.
They're doing a great job, pal. Can I try to sneak like to the edge of wherever we are and have the pixies not see me?
You can roll a stealth check if you'd like, yeah.
I got disadvantage because of my plate armor.
Also, riding a donkey.
I'll get off the donkey at the appropriate time. I rolled 2 8s, so that would be
Oh, go ahead.
-1, 2 7s.
Make a perception check.
That one is good. That would be a 25.
Okay. You notice this kind of shimmering light up ahead of you. That doesn't feel characteristic of the rest of the scene around you. Like this tree is very oddly placed and seems to like shimmer and cut in and out.
I'm gonna walk towards it.
All right.
Put my hand on it.
As you place your hand upon the tree, you find that it just phases right through it. And you hear a nasty snarl from your left. And as you kind of tilt your head to the left, you see the grinning, bared, saber-tooth fangs of a displacer beast as its little tentacles produce the tree in front of you. And I will have you roll initiative.
Oh, you're so screwed, bud.
Nah, he's
I
fine.
am-
He's got a good
I am
sword.
gonna do a yell.
And I will say that the displacer beast does get a surprise round upon you.
I also rolled a 4 for my initiative.
Okay. They rolled a 17. Hold on.
How far away is Willem from us?
Not very. He's on the edge of the clearing, but you
Okay.
can't currently see him. He's like kind of tucked behind the trees.
I
I
also
do have
just want
an
to say displacer beasts are the fucking coolest. They're so cool.
I do have
I
an
love
owl
this.
bear for this. Hold on,
Oh, beans. Oh, beans on toast.
but don't open it yet. I
Owlbear.
have to get it ready.
Oh, yeah, those things are cool.
It's like if you put together a panther, a squid, and a Venus flytrap.
It's true. Please hold. Getting it open.
Oh, no, PlayStation.
The tension.
Sorry, it's taking a minute.
No, it's all good.
Little pixie friends. Deep
Not not friends.
Okay,
deep deep.
you can open it.
Ah, yes. Draft horse time. Where are our little pixie friends?
They are not actively fighting you.
What? Are they gonna fight with us?
Don't know. All right, so Willem, this creature will attack you, and you will let out a scream, which means you'll have the opportunity to alert your party. And they are going to attempt to swat you with one of their tentacles. That is a 22 to hit the first one around.
That does hit.
And the second one is a 16, which does not hit. So you take 6 bludgeoning damage and 6 piercing damage.
Ugh. I don't
And
like it.
that was its surprise round, so it will strike again. Misses on the first strike, hits on the second strike. And that is 6 bludgeoning, 4 piercing damage.
I don't like it.
Um,
Don't like it.
the rest of you, Bramwin, Randy, and Dunk, hear a cry from your companion as dignified yell as the fairy looks at you and goes and kind of laughs and goes, light as air, swift as breeze, you'll find your prizes in the trees. Now we must be gone. And the two of them, or at least the one that's in front of you, will attempt to fly away.
Can I cast Hold Person? Is it a person?
It's a humanoid, so you can attempt to do that, yeah.
Okay, I will.
It's a wisdom saving
Or
throw, yeah.
actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cast Command on her or him or whatever
It's a her. And that is a wisdom saving throw as well.
of 16. Yeah.
They fail. What is your command?
I just say drop. They drop everything that they're holding.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they drop a little satchel that kind of expands to full size as it hits the ground. But you're not commanding them any other way. I don't think you
I
can,
can only do
right?
one word.
Yeah, and so they will fly away after they drop their possessions, kind of cackling out as they leave. We flit, we fly, we hide from your eye. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Willem, it is your turn.
All right. Bonus action. Flame on.
Okay.
And we tried to do some hits.
Okay.
Hey, Willem, what's happening?
I'm being attacked by a weird tentacle cat.
Do you want us to help?
Yes, please. 17.
That does hit.
That is 8 slashing and 10 fire.
Okay. So 18.
Yep. And then that is a 25 to hit.
That will also hit.
That is another 8 slashing and 2 fire.
So 10. So 28 total.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The rest of you can attempt to join the fight as you would
Yes,
like to.
please.
And I'll have you roll initiative as well.
17.
7.
Oops, hold on one
Dirty
second.
20.
Dirty Brandy.
So we got Branwin with a dirty 20.
Oh, no. Sorry, I have 17.
Oh, 17 Branwin. What's your dexterity modifier?
+4, but I get a +7 total to initiative, so I don't know if that matters.
Okay. Randy,
7.
Dunk.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you were the dirty 20.
Insane.
Okay, and
Oh, man,
Willem
college.
has 4. Okay. With that dunk, you see your companion on the far edge of the clearing, getting uh, himself attacked by this odd-looking cat, and you may take your turn.
I'm just gonna be like, oh, well, here we go again. I'm gonna pick up my axe and I'm gonna run at it and smack it.
All
I am
right.
close enough, right? I'm actually looking at the other.
Mm-mm.
You are not.
Oh.
That is 60 feet, so you would need to dash to get there.
Well, in that case, I will rage because when I do so, I can move up to half my movement.
Okay.
So I'll run and rage and smack him.
All right. Roll to hit.
Smack him recklessly. That is a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Yeah. 10 plus 17 damage.
Okay.
I get to hit again. Nat 20.
Wonderful.
Silvery barb now.
Oh, wait, actually, because I'm now level 9, I get 2. So that's 24 plus. Oh, Jesus, so much damage. All right, plus 16, so that's 40
What is it?
damage. No, 47 damage.
Holy
Is
shit!
it with the 18 from before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, holy
Barbarian
shit.
shit.
Okay, 47. Got it. So 28 plus 47. That's not right. Okay. Holy crap. In doing so you race over. I don't know why it's not letting me interact. There we go. You race over and just like take your great axe and cleave through, chopping off 2 of his tentacles clean off of its body as it just like recoils and lets out a nasty, almost like yelp into the air as it suffers from your strike. And that will cause the other displacer beast to reveal itself as it lurks and creeps up behind Randy
No!
and makes 2 tentacle strikes against it. That's a dirty 20 and a 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that will be 5 and 4, so 9 bludgeoning damage, and 3 and 1, 4 piercing damage, so 13 damage total. And with that, it is Branwen's turn.
Okay. I'm gonna move to flank the other one.
The draft horse.
Get over there. The draft horse goes. And I am going to do 2 attacks. One of them I'm assuming is not going to hit. That is a, let me learn how to do math quick. That's a dirty 9. But the other one is going to be a dirty 20.
The second one will hit, yes.
Oh boy, oh boy. And I get to do sneak attack because I'm flanking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I rolled kind of okay. That is for, that is 19 damage.
Okay, 19 damage. Oh my thing is going so slow. Are you doing anything else with your turn?
Nope.
All right. It is, in that case, the other displacer's turn. You said 19?
Yes.
Okay. Other displacers' turn. They are going to lash out at you, Dunk, with their 2 remaining tentacles, given the effects of your attack. And they will miss the first one, but dirty 20 on the second one. Actually, are you hit by a 16?
Meets it, beats it.
All right, then they hit both times. That is going to be, wow, 2 bludgeoning damage. They are clearly feeling the effects of your strike. And
Oh,
4 piercing damage.
I'm raging.
So you're resistant to those things, right?
I am.
So it's 1 bludgeoning damage and 2 piercing damage.
Oh boy.
That's devastating.
And that is its turn. It is now Randy's turn.
Is Cena not doing anything?
She just hasn't gotten to her turn yet.
Oh, she rolled so bad, didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. I will cast spiritual weapon as I do. Yeah, and this one's just gonna be the most cleric looking staff you've ever seen. And then it's going to bonk this displacer beast.
Okay.
Oh, it's not its turn though. I'm also gonna cast healing word on Willem.
Okay. How much do you
Which-
heal him for, and what is the word?
The word is uh, scramble. Ah! um, he heals for 8.
Okay. Are you doing anything else with
Black
your turn?
ate some godly scramble.
Not with my turn, and then it's bonking time.
What's the bunny doing? Hello, bunny.
15 to bonk.
That does hit.
Excellent news. 10 damage to Displacer Beast.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. I know it'll get an attack of opportunity, but I'm gonna try to move back, like to here.
Okay. It will take its attack of opportunity against you, and that is a 22 to hit.
Ah, shit.
Silvery barbs. Silvery barbs.
You don't have to.
I already did.
That
Okay.
is a 15 to hit.
That won't hit.
All right, and it misses. Well done, Brandwing.
Let's go.
I did
Uh,
something. I did something.
Hooray.
And with that, it is Willem's turn.
All right, we're gonna do a hit, but first we're gonna hex.
Okay.
It takes an extra D6 necrotic, and it has disadvantage on strength saving throws.
Okay.
That's a nat 1 for my first strike.
That does not hit. In fact, your sword catches in the soft, loamy soil, and will give you disadvantage on your next attack. No, I'm just kidding. It just delays you. No,
Bummer.
your sword kind of catches a little bit, and you got to yank extra hard to get it out of the dirt.
So I do have disadvantage.
You do not.
I do not?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm a merciful person.
Well, the second one is going to be 13 to hit.
Be meaner.
Is what?
13?
That does. That hits. Meets it. Beats it.
Oh, wow. Displacer beasts are squeechy. That is 12 slashing, 6 fire,
How would you
and
like to
5
do this?
necrotic damage. I'm just gonna cut its head off.
Okay. You yank your sword out of the dirt, and like kind of as you're pulling yourself up, you see the creature coming down with its paw, and you manage to kind of fall to the earth and slice clean through the creature's head as it thumps to the floor of the forest.
I will, however, say, bad giddy.
You just hear from the other side of the clearing, boo.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. All right, and with that, it is Cena's turn, and she will come up here to flank the creature and
Go, white
roll
girl,
to hit.
go.
Oh, she rolled a nat
White girl,
20
go. Yes,
and
white girl.
an 18. So that is going to be a D8. 6 damage plus, well, and then an 8, so 14 damage from the nat 20.
What a
3d6.
mighty white girl.
2,
Did she get her sneak attack on
4.
that?
Yep, I'm adding the
Nat 20?
3d6. She rolled 2 1s and a 3, so 5.
Oh, girl.
21 damage, and then for her second strike, it's another 7 damage, so 35 damage. No, 28 damage.
Go, white girl, go.
It could be 35 though.
It could be.
Go white girl, go.
All right. Whoops.
It went away. Oh.
And with that, it is Dunk's turn. The creature in front of you has been felled by your companion Willem, and it is your turn.
All right. How far away am I? That's not the measure tool. That's measure.
For your 35 feet.
I can make it. All right. So after I raged last time, I forgot to do the wild magic until after my turn.
Mhm.
But basically, all that happens is vines and flowers sprout around me, and the ground within 15 feet of me is difficult terrain for my enemies.
All right.
So I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna hit him. Has he taken any attacks?
Yes,
He
many.
has, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Um, well, let's get on with the smacking. That is a 27 to hit.
That will hit.
13 damage.
Okay.
29 to hit.
Yes.
Go, fuzz boy, go.
Let's see, 15, 16, 23 damage.
How would you like to do this?
Oh
Yeah.
Let's go.
Haven't had a good old decapitation in a while.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna.
Branwyn and Cena, you're just kind of like stabbing at this creature. I talk about Cena as if she isn't me. You're just stabbing at this creature when your companion Dunk, just covered in this kind of slick black blood from his encounter on the other side of the forest, just comes screaming through and cleaves its head clean off, just spattering blood all over Cena. And she just kind of like blinks it off and looks at you and just goes, "Well done," and sheathes her 2 daggers at her side, effectively ending combat.
Just gonna say thank you, ma'am.
That was fucking awesome.
Willem sort of like lumbers out of the like woods edge and points at Randy and goes, "That was some cleric shit you just did."
Hell yeah, dude. I could bonk all day.
Not
And I
only did
healed
you
you.
bunk, but you healed me.
I look over at Cena and I go, still not a cleric, or
Just kind of smiles. You're a cleric.
Dunk, did you rage for this?
I did.
So, Dunk, I'll have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Get within 10 feet of me so you get +2.
Can you run over here real quick?
Willem, wait for
I know he always gets sick after he does this.
you gotta hold his hair back.
He just sends out one really stinky fart.
I just get a giant handful of his back hair.
15 plus
You gotta
2
hold his
if
back hair.
roll the
Yes,
means,
I'll say that
17.
Willem was able to haul his well-armored self over to you, and you can add your +2 to the saving throw. And while you feel incredibly strained and just tired, after the efforts of your rage. You suffer no ill effects as you feel the powerful magic coursing through your veins. Though I will remind you, your hit point maximum is still reduced by 5.
Yes.
All right. So the clearing is free of any displacer beasts, save for the creature's fell bodies. And there is just the satchel on the ground that the one fairy dropped. Also, I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
I believe that's Willem.
Yep.
Dunk, you gotta stop raging for a bunch of weenies. These are weenies.
But I had to hit him.
I mean, yeah, but I reach up and pat his big old head.
It was pretty sick though. Like
It was really, really cool. You
Cena
absolutely kick their asses.
Cena nods as she's like using the hem of like one of her like old shirts from her bag to like wipe the blood from her face. It was pretty sick.
It was pretty cool.
I'm gonna pick up one of the severed tentacles and do a little tickle, tickle, tickle to tongue.
oh. I'm actually very ticklish, so I have disadvantage against tickle saving throws.
Okay.
It's canon. It's canon.
Chris is gonna make so many tickle beasts now.
Oh man. Should we go see if we can find the bank of Dunk in this satchel?
Yeah, hopefully that's still there. Hopefully they didn't come back and
Man, I hope this satchel's not just full of beans.
It's
Like
just
they
beans.
usually are.
It's only those pixies. Sometimes they just have bags full of beans, and then there's beans. They're always cooked.
In the satchel, you find a small collection of like holy symbols, like necklaces, rings, bracelets, circlets, all manner of things, just kind of clustered in a small satchel. You also find 2 leather-bound books of different styles. Um, and you find a handful of scrolls, including a scroll of the bear's endurance, a chill metal scroll, a fire trap scroll, and you find a handful of gemstones, an amethyst, a freshwater pearl, and a moss agate, all totaling 129 gold pieces. And you also find a peculiar little musical instrument, pipes, but you do not find. You do find a coin purse, but you do not find your coin purse.
I mean, they said something about
Oh,
prize we seek is in the trees or something. Correct, Chris?
She did say that.
I look around. We are surrounded by trees.
Well, it's in them. Can I look at this little flute and just play a note? Doot,
Sure. Um,
doot.
it lets off a very
What?
light and airy tune that seems to resonate through the natural world around you. Um, and it's very high pitched, so you don't hear it that well. But it sounds nice, what you do hear.
This normally isn't my instrument. Doot.
Are you able to send us a list of those scrolls?
I will.
And do any like the circlets or rings or anything? Do they seem familiar to me or interesting in any way?
You recognize many of the gods' symbols in them. You find a ring of Thalor, a circlet of Alea, a necklace of back to my notes here. Silas, and then a couple others, but like nothing related to Adara, if that's what you're looking for.
I was just like, none of them have any like crazy, like cool powers or anything. They're just kind of like symbols.
No, based on what you can ascertain, these are like symbols that a person who follows that particular god would carry with them. They
Okay.
are like trinkets versus like anything of real value. Most of them are made of wood or carved stone. They're not really anything of value.
Okay.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, Willem. Look,
Yep.
there's a bunch of new god things in case you want one that's less genocide-y. Doot, doot, doot.
It was like one day. Foreman was really nice to me.
Doot.
You can follow whoever you want, man. I just wanted you to be informed.
I appreciate that.
And I cast Locate Object on Bank of Dunk.
Yeah.
You find this kind of signal, like this homing beacon, boop, and your mind goes off, drawing you right over towards the first displacer beast's body, where the coin purse is tucked very clearly right next to its bleeding form. So you're able to kind of pick it up and shake it. You hear a lot of jingling inside as like the black, sludgy blood drips off into the ground below you.
Wait,
I,
check inside that thing. Sometimes they'll just like hide in there.
I do that.
Willem
I
cocks
open
his
up
head
the
and reaches into the displacer beast's neck hole.
Yeah,
Not
well,
that!
I look at the displacer beast because this one's cut long ways.
No, its head is chopped off. Both of their
Eyes
heads have
out.
been chopped off.
Oh, yeah, I'll look around it, just kind of see it.
Is there
You
anything
don't
up in them guts?
find anything of note, but you do hear a distant little giggle. Like,
Who's that giggling?
wouldn't you like to know? I think I'll go on my way now. Mighty fun playing with you.
All right,
Why is
I turn
everything
around,
out so annoying?
and I give Dunk back his bank.
All right.
Wait, sometimes the pixies rob you and you just gotta play a little game of tag
That
with them. It
seems
happens all the
like a
time.
very fun way to get to know the area that you're in.
Oh yeah, sometimes they're like really nice, but these guys were a little rude.
They
The ones in
steal
the spring court are assholes though.
I'd play the game of tag with them, but like I would like it if it wasn't for all of my stuff.
Yeah, no, they do try to rob you blind. That's pretty standard.
This is a silly place.
But yeah, no, at least they weren't the spring court ones. Those guys, they just like try to blind you.
These ones just tried to get displacer beast to eat us.
I've got really strong Philly accents for some reason. I'm building lore for Chris for later.
I'm writing it down.
Learn how to do a
They
Philly.
drink water and eat hoagies.
How much are those gems worth, by the way, Chris?
The gems were worth 129 gold pieces.
29. Okay.
You also did find a small coin purse, which nobody opened.
Dunk can open that.
Yeah. How much?
There's
how
a
much is
dead
that,
squirrel in there.
You find 673 gold.
Oh shit!
We love that for us.
The
So
bank
picking up the
grows.
Philadelphia Pixies going, we're just gonna blind yous now.
All right.
If you beat them at their riddles 3, they do give you a cheesesteak. It's pretty great.
This
There's
has
no other
taken
consequences of losing this. Go on.
this has taken considerable time off of your day, but you are able to return to the road, and you feel the incline kind of start to rise out of the swampy forest, but this kind of peculiar rush of air seems to like just dispel down the slope towards you.
It's
That's
time to
weird.
hike.
Peculiar in that it's not wind.
No, it's wind, but it's just like really weird that it's just like blowing downhill at you constantly.
This is annoying.
Yeah.
I think maybe something is trying to stop us from getting up this hill.
Foolish of that thing to think that it would stop us. This is air.
But it is annoying.
Sure is.
As you progress further up the slope, the mountains begin to rise ahead of you like candles in the wind. The source of the wind now just abundantly clear as this kind of swirling vortex of wind circles around and constantly interrupted and pushed in different directions by mountains that seem to move of their own accord. Inevitably, you find yourself perched at the edge of a colossal cliff that seems to descend into mere nothingness, a darkness unfamiliar to almost all of you. But Randy, it feels eerily familiar. A darkness that you only remember seeing on your time adrift on the astral sea, far out from where you sat upon your little island, looking out into abyss, untouched, unmanaged, unbuilt.
I turn my eyes upward toward the mountains.
Yes, you see mountains floating by like colossal mammoths, edging slowly along as bits of stone and earth crumble along over the edge. Uh,
What are you laughing at,
I
Chris?
knew, no, I'm laughing at Willem, because when I wrote it, I knew he would have something to say about it.
I haven't said anything.
I saw your smirk the moment I said it. Some rivers pour over the cliffs of their mountainous homes, just waterfalling into the abyss and descending for eternity, it seems like, before falling out of your gaze. And tufts of green dot the rocky gray monstrosities as little jungles seem to dot the ever shifting landscape. And you kind of look down at your feet, and rocks kind of kick off the edge of the cliff that you stand upon and clatter onto the peak of a mountain that kind of floats by, scraping across the edge of the cliff just below you.
Hmm. Randy, thoughts?
Flying boat would help a lot right now, it seems. Like, I knew that this was kind of what we were supposed to be expecting, but I did not have a plan. And also, I do not know where that temple is in these mountains.
Didn't Poppy give like Mark the map for you or something?
I get, yeah, yeah. I I open up the map. Is there like a clear direction that we should be going?
It is a rather winding path. It does give you kind of like landmarks to look for on different mountains, namely a collapsed tower. Poppy kind of circles on one of the nearby mountains to look for as a sign that you're about halfway there. Um, and a couple of other like natural monuments and twin peaks of mountains that you can look for to note that you are following the right path towards the temple.
I show this to my compatriots and I say, like, does anyone see like anything like this in the distance?
I look out in the distance.
You can make a perception check.
I would
Uh,
also like to do this.
all of
I'll
you just
also
hear this kind of like
perceive.
very grating stone crunching noise as the mountain below you kind of
I got a,
shifts and turns past.
I got a rock in my eye.
Yeah, I got a
I got a
solid
1.
8.
13.
At 21.
Yeah, Randy, you see a lot of mountains, but you don't see any of the landmarks that you're looking for. That said, it's very clear to you that the mountain passing by is your closest path off of the structure that you're on right now.
All right, folks, we're gonna wing this shit.
Oh, great. Awesome. Let's go.
And I jump onto the mountain that's passing by.
Okay. It
I'll
is.
follow.
Oh no.
I will have all of you make survival checks to land upon the mountain in a meaningful way. Willem, how are you handling your steed?
Oh no.
How big is the distance?
It's about 20 feet.
I'm just gonna look at him and be like, "All right, cheesers. Can you jump that?"
He's getting nervous.
Is is that? Listen, buddy, I'm gonna need a yes or no. All right. Left paw for yes. Right hoof for no.
It will stomp its left paw anxiously.
That's a yes. All right.
I will have you make a survival check at disadvantage.
Maybe you can double jump.
How
I
did
will jump separately from my steed.
Can you ride it like Yoshi, where you go and then you jump off of it?
And then
to
you
get
jump off of it and it just plummets to its death.
Randy, Brandon, Dunk, what'd you get?
Can we do acrobatics for this? Because we're like jumping.
Sure.
If I'm doing
Cool.
the long jump, like in track and field, could I use athletics?
Sure.
Okay, I got a
Either
27.
way, I think I did fine. But yeah, 24.
Okay. I would say, Bran, when you deftly, kind of almost like as a ballerina would, leap to the stone and kind of catch yourself on the tips of your toes and manage to secure your footing on the rocky facade of this mountain. Dunk, you long jump and kind of like barrel chest, like kind of like grip the nearest rock to you to keep yourself steady. Randy, how'd you do?
I got a 19.
Okay. You jump with relative ease. It almost feels like kind of like a skip for you, given your large physique. Willem,
7.
you throw yourself off of the cliff, and your heavy armor just kind of pulls you down sooner than you were expecting to, and you will take 8 bludgeoning damage as your armor dents against the rock and kind of catches you in the shoulder, and you're gonna pull your shoulder back and kind of like land like a like a wrestler from the top rope onto the rock, with bits of stone kind of flying off in different directions as Cena kind of gently floats down back to you.
Floats
Not
down.
actually like very gracefully. It's a very graceful leap.
Oh, okay. I
Like
was like,
Princess
she doing
Peach?
magic?
Yeah. And you can roll for your steed as well, Willem.
that he's gonna die.
It immediately just
Um,
plummets.
What is the stat block that I should use for the horse? That's not a horse.
We'll give it draft horse stats.
It's me.
This weird rat thing is built exactly like Branwyn.
Branwen's built like
well,
this
I got
weird rat
it's
thing.
8 on the die. Survival is a wisdom skill. It's got +0 for wisdom, so that's gonna be an 8.
Okay. It too will
It's better than
whinny.
me.
It will whinny and neigh as its hooves clamber and scramble on the uneven rocky surface, and it will take 4 bludgeoning damage as it lands
It
upon the
bounces.
rock. But it is able inevitably to steady itself as it does upon the cliff, as the cliff seems to start to appear further and further away.
I just look at my horse and I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work out for the whole mountain situation. So I put my hand on its head and I go, "You can go."
And does it just like kind of poof in a magical?
Yeah.
No, it jumps off the cliff.
It makes horse jump onto mountain. It makes horse disappear immediately after, refuses to elaborate.
Yeah, your horse vanishes in a puff of white smoke. But as it does so, its head kind of lingers for a moment. It goes, and it dissipates in
I
a.
trusted you.
You made it.
I guess we just kind of ride this thing till we see a landmark.
I reach down and I sort of pat the rock and I go, I heard the early settlers used to ride these babies for miles.
It's true, actually. Yeah.
We are riding this for miles.
It's at this point that you
Yeah.
notice that the sun is getting quite low in the sky, and the mountains pass by one another with quiet ease floating on this everlasting abyss. Do you plan to kind of hike along this mountain, stay where you are? What's your plan?
Let's see if we can like get to a high point so that we can see more, and then we'll camp there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. I will say that I'll have each of you make survival checks to climb the mountain to get there before nightfall.
I'm gonna give myself inspiration.
Could it be athletics?
No, this one's definitely survival.
Okay.
23.
I got a hot 18.
8.
I
Uh,
also got an 8.
Willem and Dunk, are you lingering behind for your companions, or are you hauling butt up to the mountaintop?
This is a no child left behind zone.
Yeah, I feel confident that they'll be safe enough that I'll go scout ahead.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I will. I'm sticking behind.
so Dunk goes on
Oh.
alone towards the top of the mountain, and Dunk, you are
Oh,
able to.
before he does, I'll rip out a tooth and throw it at him.
Okay, I'll say you're making your way up the mountain, and it's exactly like it was when I was snowshoeing a couple weeks ago, where I'm completely out of breath after a couple of minutes, and you're just like, "Go on without me." Toss the tooth, and Dunk Rocky runs up the rocky facade of the mountain before reaching a relative plateau near the top of the summit.
Many
Um,
Philadelphia references today.
yeah. Dunk, go ahead and make a perception check up at the top. As you were able to get there, as the sun begins to set far in the sky.
16.
Okay. You managed to see a handful of mountains that seem to get pretty close, and almost like there's like two other mountains around you, and the three of them seem to like rotate in a circle, and one going kind of deeper into the range. On the furthest one, you are able to see, in addition to a gracefully flowing river that crosses the mountain terrain and just culminates in this spectacular waterfall. This kind of water cascading into the void is this very lengthy collection of roots and vines that seem to descend alongside the waterfall, and the waterfall actually hits the mountain that you are on the far edge of it. So you would theoretically assume that you would be able to climb those vines up to the top of that particular mountain.
Can I tell if like this has to happen like right away before the mountains move apart, or can this like
At this time, you're not really able to tell, but from what you're able to see as you kind of stand up there for about an hour as your companions take their time getting up there, the mountain above you is consistent. The waterfall stays pouring on to like the edge of your mountain and then off onto the abyss. So like you reason that it's there for a bit.
okay?
The
I
rest
guess
of you,
I'll
yeah,
find them.
the rest
Right.
of you inevitably do make it up to this plateau, kind of see what Dunk sees, but at this point the sun has gotten very low in the sky, and twilight has begun, with the aurora of the Fey night sky beginning to shimmer its colorful light onto the grounds below.
I'm gonna start making a hut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else doing anything?
I'm scouting around our campsite for danger.
Okay. Make a investigation check.
Big hands with danger.
On an investigation of 3, I'm gonna say I'm probably really good at finding out if there's any danger.
You scan around for a while, but you're also like the plateau that you're on kind of ends in a cliff face in most directions after a short walk, so you don't go too far, and you find that you're able to like keep it. You don't really see anything else around in the mountains.
Yep. No danger. We're good.
Sounds about right.
Great.
All right. Sleepy time? Oh, wait. I'm gonna send a message.
Okay.
Sending one to Elray. He'll say, "Hey, girl, hey. You're kind of freaking me out, man. Please respond if you can. Still in the Feywild. Got to hang out with my dad. I think you two would be friends. What you wearing?
In your mind, you hear a familiar voice. Hey, girl, hey. He sounds weary and tired, um, but he's clearly pleased to hear your voice. He goes, I am improving, and you'll have to forgive my absence. It has been some weeks since you've been gone, and an affliction overcame me. I wear my softest cloth pajamas. Glad to hear you're doing well.
I immediately sent him another one. Jesus Christ! Hey, girl, hey. What were you sick with? Were you dying? What in the beans, dude?
I was not dying, but a I can't think of another word at the moment besides pandemic. An epidemic caught through Trowood, and put a number of us out of our wits for a bit, but most of us are on the mend now.
I
We
hope
lost
Elray doesn't get long COVID.
a fair amount of people, but the city is on the mend now.
Yeah, I'm gonna relay that to everybody. I will use up my last third level spell and just be like, is the mansion doing okay? Is everybody okay at the mansion? Also tell Lyra I said hi.
Yes, the mansion is fine. That's actually where I spent most of my days. They were very kind to treat me and quarantine me there, as the city was a bit overrun.
Does the tiny hut have a bathtub?
No. It's really comfy in there though. It's
Oh,
nice and
but
air conditioned and nice and soft and
we're
things.
all covered in displaced or beast blood.
Sorry I can't make a bathtub. It's a hut. I can make the water warm though. If you have like water.
Is there water?
There's no river nearby, if that's what you're asking. Whatever rations you have or what you have in your rations.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Not enough to shower with. I guess I'll stay stinky for tonight.
There's really good airflow, so it's not going to be bad for the smell.
Okay, that's good.
It's the perfect atmosphere in this hut.
All right. Are any of you taking watch or doing anything before going to bed?
I'm doing two things. Branwyn, can you flip a coin?
All
Or
right.
just pick a number, one or two?
No, I'm trying to find a coin.
Okay.
you can do odds or evens on a
It's
dice.
determining what
Yeah, I'll do
fifth
that.
level spell I'm gonna cast.
All right. Odds is heads. Evens, it's tails.
Okay. I am gonna cast Legend Lore, which brings my mind to my mind a significant summary of the significant lore about the thing that I named. The lore can be kind of anything, and if I know more about the object, I get more specific lore about it. And I'm gonna
I love
cast
spells that are
that
basically just
on.
like getting your DM to tell you things.
Yeah, that's all a cleric is.
Name or describe a person, place, or object. Wow. Okay.
And
What are
I'm
you
gonna
casting it upon?
this fucking book, like the book itself, like where does it come from?
Okay. You cast Legend Lore upon the kind of grind up some ivory that you happen to have and
Sure.
rub it into the leather
It's
bound.
actually one of Willem's teeth.
Yes. The leather bound nature of the book, like a soft glow emanates from it and it pierces your mind. And you can see the book held in the hands of the tiny creature known as Thariel, etching it away, scribing word for word as he looks up at a small metal man who dictates the information to him.
Willem will take first watch outside, by the way.
Okay. And then the second thing I'm gonna do is drink my potion of comprehend languages and do my final reading of the book as I can right now.
Okay. And are you picking up where you left off or jumping to a particular part of the book?
Okay. I had. Oh, the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of look through the book to see if I can find anything that has something to do with like these specific mountains and this specific temple that we're going to.
Make a wisdom saving throw and an investigation check to scan for that type of information.
Evan, perfect.
I got a 15 saving throw,
Okay.
and investigation is going to be a lot worse. Oh, 12. Pretty
Um,
bad.
you scan through the pages, and while your mind is misty and it kind of your brain almost like you want to scratch the inside of your brain, but you are able to scan through the pages with relative ease. However, you don't find any mention of the Shimmerpeak Mountains specifically. You do like scan through a couple more of the battles of the Convergence Wars and find mention of another. I mean, every single battle that you read about in there is terrible and awful in some grandiose way. And you do find a book or a story rather of a colossus that was built from stone that waged war in a mountain range and led to the deaths of many, many, many people. But it does not mention this particular mountain range, at least by name.
Okay, then the second thing I'm going to look for is. Ah, I forgot it already. I'm so stupid. Um. Oh, like the small metal man that I saw. Something like I'm gonna specifically look like towards the end of the book to see if there's like any mention of like because like I know that there's like iron golem kind of stuff which seems similar, but I'm looking for small metal man. So I'm gonna look towards the I s- I assume like the end ish of the book. I'm gonna narrow my search down a little bit for
Okay.
mention of or description of this guy.
Make a wisdom saving throw and an investigation check.
Wisdom saving throw is 17.
Okay.
Investigation is 8.
You do not find any mention of small metal men. However, as you thumb towards the back of the book, if you want to tell me how much time you spend there, I can read some things from it, as well as the fact that you find that of the book's many missing pages, most of them seem to be here.
Can I like tell where they go? Kind of.
What you read
With my
about in the final page, no. So the pages that you have are not the missing pages from this section of the book.
what the
Um,
fuck?
and they are more hastily torn out. Um,
Oh,
and what you can tell is that there were many of those guardians who were sent by the pantheon of the gods, who over time left their duties behind and went to do other things, namely
are these the Sentinels?
the Sentinels. Yes,
Okay.
um, and they left to do other things. Many of whom went to serve mortal races, so they gave up their immortality and went to go provide support and service for burgeoning mortal populations on the material plane. There's some in the Fae as well. Um, Namely, you read about Neria, who faced a moral dilemma when asked to eradicate a burgeoning mortal civilization deemed unfit by the gods. And she ultimately refused and went to aid them in their initial construction of a city on the coast of a bay in Yusan. And you read a couple stories similar to that, but there are a lot of missing pages in between these stories. They're not all gone at once, so you'll like flip a page, see a missing page, flip a page, another missing page, until you get to a point when the entire last section of the book is torn out.
Hmm. I will. The third thing I'd like to search for is any mention of, because from my knowledge, before learning about the 18 like gods, I thought there was like 8, right?
There are 8.
I want to know what happened to the other 10.
Okay. Make an investigation check. Actually, I will say you don't have to make an investigation check because you're familiar enough with the books, part of the Convergence Wars, to kind of go back and read through those pages and make a wisdom saving throw.
Cool. Aha, 21.
With ease, you thumb back exactly to where you know these pages are in the Etheric Compendium and find that in many of the battles of the Convergence Wars, there were certain scenarios where gods were killed by their followers. And those accounted for 3 of the deaths of the 18. The other 8, rather, no, what is that? Many of the other, whatever
7.
the number is, thank you.
7.
Whatever the remaining number is, were killed by the Sentinels, as the Sentinels were chosen champions of the 8 Prime Pantheon. And the remaining 7 and those who were continuing to support the Convergence Lords were deemed as pretender gods and slain by the Sentinels to put an end to the conflict.
Does it say anything about like how they were killed? Like what kills a god?
There are a lot of stories of absurd things that happened. A lot of the deaths occurred during, um, like as I kind of described previously, this was a time when the planes were basically reckoning with one another and they were collapsing on top of each other. So a lot of terrible things were happening. So in one of the battles of the Convergence Wars, I told you a god was killed when the sky literally shattered down and basically stabbed them to death. But the other ones were gifted with such incredible powers from their gods that raised massive armies and were able to go to the dominions of the gods because there was no boundaries between these worlds and kill them where they stood. Um, you read that these creatures are impossibly powerful, the Sentinels, and that they were chosen, groomed, and built by gods to be basically their living avatars on the planes outside of their control.
Um, so gods can just be kind of stabbed by strong people.
That's what you're reasoning.
That's kind of spooky.
You
Um,
reckon, as you read through this book, that the time of the Convergence Wars was a time of obscene and untapped magic and just unchecked planar energy that, when wielded properly, could kill a god.
um, can I? How much time do I have left?
About 15 minutes.
Okay, this like planar or like crazy extra planar energy. Can I like tell what happened to it? Like, why aren't things as cool now?
You can you have a general understanding of where to go and read about the end of the war.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll have you make a wisdom saving throw.
26.
You're able to find with relative ease stories at the end of the Convergence Wars where there are a number of missing pages, but you are make an investigation check.
It's I got a -2 for
Can't
all
be
my
easy. It
investigation
can't be
checks.
easy.
10.
You're able to discern with relative
No,
ease,
wait.
though.
I got Willem's thing. No,
That's
I
a
don't.
saving
It's
throw,
saving
pal.
throws. God damn it.
Also, I'm outside keeping watch.
You are able to discern after some time, so it wastes some time, that you are in possession of some of those missing pages, and you're able to fit the pages back in. That once the Sentinels had completed their work of killing the pretender gods, the gods banded together and planted a great tree, a world tree, that would guard the barriers between the planes, and ensure that incursions could no longer occur. They imbued it with a great deal of magic to ensure that there would still be able to afford for passage between the planes, but not at the same rate as it had been up until that point. And it also determined that unless the tree was maintained in such a way to afford for one of their planes to be upon it, then it would not exist. So they were choosing the planes that would stay and go. Um, and that this tree maintains the boundaries between them. And then they tasked the sentinels with stewardship and guardianship of the tree.
Who is the steward of this tree?
The sentinels.
Oh, okay, sorry. Um, is it? I know that like this tree is in like a pocket place. Is there like any information on like how to get there?
There are a number of missing pages that do not
Fuck,
suggest where the tree actually is.
that makes sense. Um, I'll just read more about like the 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 gods that are like with the time I have left, like gods that are still alive and like why they won in the opposition to the other 10. That's a very big topic, but just like general strokes.
So I'll say that as you keep reading with your final like couple pages here, you find fewer and fewer mentions of the gods themselves, and the actual like story of that this author is transcribing shifts towards the Sentinels themselves, and kind of their exploits and time, um, in the early days of life after the Convergence Wars. Um, so you learn a little bit more about their personalities and who they are. So to remind you, you find mentions of the names of that you've seen and heard before, but namely Neria, Gormorin, Lero, Alari, Zephyron, Eldros, Valyrian, and Seraphil.
Can you say that again, but slower?
Neria, Gormorin, Lero, Alari, Zephyron, Eldros, Valyrian, and Seraphil.
These sound like Pokemons.
What was the
Um,
last one?
Seraphil. You are also, Randy, as you scan these stories once again, Lero, the name, sticks out to you quite a bit. And you recall, in addition to Alari, which you are well aware of at this point, but Lero sounds a lot like a kind of childhood legend that is taught to Goliath children in the mountains, as a
Oh yeah.
spirit of the mountains.
Do I know what god he served or they?
You can't immediately tell. So the one thing that I'll say is that like the gods kind of formed these champions together.
Oh, okay.
They were not like necessarily like chose they went out of their way to like not choose them individually. These eight gods kind of formed an alliance together and created these eight champions to do their bidding. They had their favorites, but not abundantly clear. So for instance, Yes, if you want to use your last few moments scanning through the book, Thalor takes a shine to Lero, but for the most part, they are all their own independent beings.
Gotcha.
And I'll say that you have run out of time here, but do not feel any ill effects from this reading of the book, given that you passed all of your
Ooh.
saving throws.
Oh, let's go! I close the book and I go to bed.
Okay.
Well, is anyone still awake, or is everyone sleeping except for Willem?
Willem is awake outside.
I'm gonna go to Willem real quick.
Okay.
What's up, big man?
There is some crazy shit in here.
Cool. Want to talk about it?
Yeah. So there's like this tree, right?
Uh-huh.
That like before all the places, all the realms were like collapsing on top of each other, and then there's all these wars and crazy shit. There used to be 18 gods, and then 10 of them just straight up fucking died. You
Who
can
killed them?
kill gods like pretty easily. It's not easy, but like 10 of them died of the 18. Now we got these 8.
Who killed the gods?
These sentinel guys, and some followers. But there's like all these chosen ones, that e- either killed the gods, they kind of ended the war, and they made this big tree in a pocket dimension that separates all of the planes. And I kind of think that, like, if you're gonna cause an apocalypse, if you're gonna try to fuck with all this shit, you're gonna fuck with the tree. I think
Okay.
to figure out where that is and how to get to it in order to protect it.
Adara just told you to find Thariel, right?
Yeah, he wrote this book.
Do you
So
think
as
that
far as I'm concerned, this is kind of like talking to him herself.
do you think that Adara wanted you to find Thariel so he could read the book and tell you what's in it? Or do you think he's the key to protecting the tree? Or some other third thing?
I think both of those are probably true.
Mm.
Um, you should still try to find him, but yeah, this is, I don't know. It's a cool book. Not recommended reading though.
No. It seems like it might drive you a little bit insane when you read it.
No, I don't. Well, no.
Okay. You seem to have an air of madness around you recently, and also you can't see so good anymore. Your eyes are all milky.
I'm getting a little old.
Not as old as
Well,
Granlin, though.
that's true. And
Um,
I want to sit down and watch the beautiful mountains for a little while with my friend Willem,
Okay.
and then I'll go to
You
bed.
you go through the remainder of Willem's watch. Willem, who are you waking for the next watch?
I'll look at Randy and be like, "Do you want to get some sleep, or do you just want to stay up for a bit longer?"
I should probably get a rest. Yeah.
All right, I'll wake up Dunk.
All right. Dunk, you're raised by your companions to take on the next watch, um, and make a perception check. You're on mute, but I think you said 6.
14.
Your watch passes without issue, and before long, the sun begins to creep up above the sky, um, and yeah, the morning sun begins to glint across the mountains. It's fairly chilly, you find, as the air in the mountains
It's
is
warm in the
thin
hut.
and cold. But Branwen, you get a playful nudge from Sina. She goes, looks at you,
Mm.
and walks out of the hut. Um,
Yep.
yes. Um, she walks up to you, Dunk, and says, Bramlin and I are going to train for a bit. We can take the next watch.
I actually would like to stay up for a little bit because it's really pretty out here.
Yeah, you're
I'm
welcome
just
to
gonna
stay.
watch the mountains.
All right.
I don't.
Uh,
Morning.
Randy and Willem go on mute.
Oh my gosh, we're hanging out with Dong.
Um, Randy Bramlin and Cena will begin some gentle sparring as she kind of looks over at you, Dunk, and just, how's the reading going?
You know, I haven't been practicing the past couple of days. But I know we found a couple of little books off those pixies. Um, so while we got some time, while the other two are snoozing, I think I'm gonna go hold them out.
All right. In the books, you find one book is kind of like it's basically like the Bible, which tells the story of the Faith of Eight, or rather, like describes the gods and their separate pantheons. But the other one you find is a journal of sorts that is metal lined, um, and has like a very interesting kind of like ring around it, and a gear in the back topped with a white heart. And by heart I mean the stag, not a beat beat heart. Um, and it's just kind of like an intricate little metal design that's inlaid into the book around the metal border. Um, and yeah, I will have you make an investigation check with disadvantage as you attempt to read the book itself.
I
I
rolled
give
a
him
9.
inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Add
That's
a D8.
D8. Okay. You said investigation?
Yes.
Let's see. 13.
Okay. It takes you a very long time, about an hour and a half, as you're just like fully engrossed in this book, and you're not really able to get everything from it. But you do read the tale, like you get the sense that these are journals from an individual named Panza, and they're rather frantic and nervous. And they talk a lot about a curse, a blood curse, um, and the desire to abandon where they've been. That's kind of like the message that you get. It's the impression that you get. Um,
The impression.
but you're not, because of like you're still learning. You're not really able to glean much more from the book that you are doing. Yes, Brandon.
Can we say that Dunk's reading aloud and like me and Cena are just like pausing to help him sound out words and stuff?
Yes, that is exactly what happens. Like at one point, Cena kind of like holds up her hand to stop you, and then, like your blades kind of cross, and she goes, "Yeah, yeah, no, it's Cursa, Cursa,
Er,
um,
Course?
curse."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Yes,
right?
it's a long k sound. K.
Okay.
Um, Tina will turn back to you, Bramwin, as Dunk reads aloud. She goes, sorry if mentioning your mom pissed you off yesterday.
Oh no, it's fine. People mention her all the time.
I mean, it's
I mean,
just
not you guys, but everyone else.
yeah. Um, you're getting better.
I mean, I used to be a lot better at this,
Really?
I think.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you used to be like a champion, right? Like you were in the courts.
like like a
You like
low level champion,
you're like fighting
like
for a
barely a
living, right?
champion. Yes, yeah. I used to be better at this.
Well, you're pretty good now. Make a dexterity check.
Ah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Beep boop bop beep boop. That is a 21.
You catch on as she attempts to swipe your legs out from underneath you. Um, And as her ankle kind of clatters against yours, you're able to kind of stand fast. And she looks up and she's, nice job.
Yep. And then I'm gonna try to do like almost the same exact move and trip her.
Okay. She fails, and you are able to take her legs out from underneath her, and she kind of clatters to the ground, her sword, or her daggers rather, by her side. I think that's about it for today.
All right. Sore loser. I mean, what?
Hmm.
All right.
The rest of you, or Randy, hasn't seen it yet.
Busy
Randy.
thinking about morning brown.
The
Morning,
rest
Brown.
the rest of you awake, Willem and Randy, the chill of the mountain air upon
Ugh.
you as Branwen has left the tiny hut behind. And you see a trio, Branwen, Cena, and Dunk, kind of by the fire that they have prepared. Cena kind of dusting off her robes and her attire as she kind of sits down next to Dunk and points out a handful of words in the book that he is reading.
Oh, well, this is nice.
Good morning.
Good morning to
Good
you
morning.
too. You been up long? What's
No,
going on?
not long. Just saw Dunk here and thought we would help out with this little book he's reading.
Yeah, this is from the pixies from their little bag.
Oh yeah.
Some guy named Ponza, his journal. Something about a blood curse.
Interesting.
What?
What about a blood curse?
I'm not really sure yet. I made it through like a couple of paragraphs. Um, but I'm gonna keep working on reading and I'm gonna get to you when I figure it out.
All right. I look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
that's
good,
a good
Dunk.
goal for you.
Brantwan, you haven't heard anything about blood curses, huh? That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Have I heard anything about blood curses?
You have not.
I mean,
Don't
not anything crazy, no.
don't you kind of have cursed blood, Dunk?
I think he's
Kinda.
just
Something like
cursed.
that. Yeah.
It's one of those regular curses.
Yeah. I don't know if it's specific to his blood. Is it?
I guess if I hear blood curse, something about me thinks it's like ancestral or passed down, but maybe not. Or your blood is literally cursed. Who knows? Keep reading that book, you'll find out.
My uncle had cursed blood.
For real?
He well, he died of a heart attack, so
Well, that's more of a cursed muscle, right?
blood goes through it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Uh let's go mountain hopping.
All right. Anyone doing anything before they start the morning?
Other than wondering what's going on between Branwen and Cena, no.
All right.
Absolutely nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
You are able to find a narrow, winding path kind of carved into the side of this mountain that you're on that leads down towards the place that Dunk pointed out yesterday, where a waterfall cascades down from a mountain higher up that would afford you additional, deeper pathway into the range. But some of the parts are kind of crumbled over, or they're kind of covered in a slick moss that cascades down from one of the many jungles that dot the landscape.
Climbing that bitch.
All
We're
right.
climbing the bitch? Okay.
So you're navigating down the pathway. What order are you going in?
I'll go first.
I'll follow.
I'll okay, I'll take up the back.
I'll go in the middle.
Okay. Um, as you,
Before we go, I'm gonna. Does everyone here feel confident in their climbing ability?
Pretty confident, yeah.
I've got
Reasonably.
this grappling gun.
I totally
my
forgot about that.
What?
Yeah.
Is that from Red Wines?
Yeah, like session 4.
Holy shit.
This could help us.
Have you ever fired it?
No.
Okay.
I think this is fine.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
Do
You
you
want to
fire
do
it?
a test fire or something, maybe?
Yeah, let's see what it does. I'm gonna
You
aim it over the part that we're gonna climb and
So to be clear, you're walking down the mountain that you're on
I
towards a
don't
landing.
yeah, I don't
But you can still
Oh.
attempt to test fire it first.
yeah, I'll do a test fire. I'm assuming it's like a harpoon gun where like the grapple is attached with like rope or something or wire or something.
It is a bit like that. It is actually this kind of like large monstrosity that you have to hold in 2 hands, and it's like pushed up against your shoulder. And I will have you make a
Hell yeah.
strength saving throw to
Hell yeah.
resist the kickback.
But if you're within 10 feet of me, you get to add 2.
Did you say strength saving throw?
Yes.
So I get to add 2?
Yes.
You got blown
That's a
the fuck
total
out.
of 3.
You hear like this like weird humming charge like as the harpoon flies out of the gun and you very literally comically drop it and send yourself flying back into the stone dirt as the
I want to hold on to it with all my little dear life and just go.
well, the harpoon actually only flies 5 feet.
What?
It is a very small grappling gun.
You son of a bitch!
Everything you guys stole from that place is horribly disconfigured. Had you read the guy's journals, because you didn't go into that room, you would have learned that he's a really bad inventor.
Oh my
I still
god.
have my 3 smoke bombs, so that's good to know that they're horrible.
And Dunk has the go fast gloves, right?
And you have
Oh no,
and you have the phase
actually,
necklace.
Yeah,
I
and
I
I have
gave
used
the
that
gloves
once.
to Borgin
Yes,
as a parting gift.
that's right.
Okay.
So
I'm
we'll just
gonna
shitty. Although they're really
um
nice.
I'm just gonna sit up. Be like, well, that was stupid. I'm gonna pocket I wanna keep the gun, put that in a bag of holding wherever the hell we were carrying it. But I'm gonna cut off the grappling hook part and just attach that to rope like a normal human.
Okay,
More
got
like
it.
a normal elf.
Eladrin.
So whoever goes first can I mean we could just use this as a grappling hook.
We can throw it.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to
Cool.
Dunk. Dunk,
So
you
I
now
will
have the
say
grappling
that
hook.
as you wind down the mountain path toward the riverbed, or the waterfall rather, I'll have you make survival checks to navigate the difficult terrain.
You said survival.
Hmm.
Dirty
21.
20.
Ooh,
23.
Holy shit.
23 as well.
Oh my
Wow.
god, we're doing so good.
You all managed to navigate the pathway down the mountain with relative ease. In fact, as you make your way down, Willow, who rolled the highest?
Dunk and I both got a 23.
Okay, Dunk and Willem, you spot kind of tucked behind this kind of descent of moss that cascades over the pass. As you push yourself around it, you see that it kind of lifts up, and you find a satchel with a very detailed map within that provides you with more insight into how to reach the Temple of Isolde. And a little note
Oh.
details it as a token of prior pilgrims.
Oh,
Are there like lots of temples of gods here? Because this is a map to the Temple of Isolde, who is probably a god.
That Chris Isolde, what's his deal? Do I know about him?
You do not know
I haven't
about
really asked
Isolde.
about him.
You do
He's
not
not
know
in
about
our list
Isolde.
of 8 gods.
And he's not
Okay.
in your list of 8 gods.
He's not a god.
Branwyn, do you know who Isolde is? Is that somebody from here?
Branwyn, make a history check.
Do I get advantage because I'm from here?
No, you get to roll because you're from here.
Okay. That is an 11.
Yes, you do know the name of Isolde quite well. In fact,
Oh yeah, that guy.
you know that girl, Isolde, was
That girl.
a cleric of Thalor who led a small party on a pilgrimage through the Shimmerpeak Mountains as an act of service to Thalor, given that he is the god of justice and mountains. Um, the mountains were a very difficult and grueling journey, and many of the people that she brought on her pilgrimage fell to their deaths or died along the journey. So much so that after so much death, Isolde fell to her knees and prayed for 2 weeks, demanding to know what justice could be here. And after 2 weeks, an avatar of Thalor shined down from the heavens and approached Isolde, treated with her, and offered her the mantle of his champion. She was escorted away to the celestial and material planes to serve the god, and her followers built the temple as a testament to her ascension.
I say all of that word for word, just so matter of factly as we're walking.
Oh,
I mean, if it's on the way, maybe we should check it out.
That's
That's
where
where we're
you're
going. That's
going.
it's not on the
Yeah.
way.
I thought we were going to Adara's temple.
no, this is not her temple at all. It's Thalor's temple, I guess. Kinda.
Is that going to be a problem for you? Because now you have this anti-Thalor thing because he did a little bit of genocide.
I didn't say anti-Thalor. I said cautious. I'm cautiously thinking about Thalor. I think it just helps to be a little conscientious about the gods we're worshiping.
Branwyn, you also know that now that you're aware of the name of the place that you're going to, that the Temple of Isolde is a house of worship for all worshippers of the eight.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like a just a overall.
So it's like a pantheon.
Yeah,
Cool.
Get our prey on.
Get our brain. Given the time that you have invested and had this conversation, you have reached the base of the mountain that you are on, and Willem, with this more detailed map, you know that you are headed in the right direction. And to reach the top of the mountain that this water, so like you reach the base and you feel the spray of the river kind of splashing up, and you get this cool mist that washes over your face, and you're starting to feel the chill of the mountain air. But these like thick rooted vines descend down from the mountain above you, adjacent to the waterfall, and you get the sense that you could attempt to climb it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Dunk, you've got the grappling hook.
So, with the grappling hook, how much good would the grappling hook really be if there's nothing to pull us up? Like, would it make more
What?
sense for like one of us to just climb up the vines and then lower down the rope so that we can like pull up somebody else?
I mean,
'Cause otherwise,
you're the one
like,
with the grappling hook. This is your decision.
either I
Chris, how
climb up the rope
high? How
or I
high is
climb.
this waterfall?
It is
Yeah,
150 feet.
that's
Okay.
pretty. That's pretty tall.
How much rope is on that grappling hook?
50.
Also, yeah, you can't throw a rope 150 feet high.
Yeah.
Branwyn just yeets it.
It just woo, falls over the mountain.
Uh, hey, I tried to help.
And
It
I
went as usual. Give me at least 1 point for trying.
This kind of seems like a climbing venture.
All right.
well, guess
Well, who's going
I'll
first?
do a little test pull on the vines and start clambering up.
All right, Dunk, you are going first. I will have you make 2 athletics checks to successfully ascend the vines.
Okay. What's my athletics again? I think I've got. Yeah. All right. So that's a 22 for the first one.
Okay.
Ooh. 13 for the second.
So as you ascend the vines very dexterously, you're kind of pulling yourself up very easily, leveraging your natural strength to pull yourself further and further up towards the mountains. You're getting closer to the point where you're no longer kind of dangling in the air. Like after you pass the midway point, you can even like reach through the vines and touch some of the underside of the mountain, or stick your hand in the water and rub it over your face to keep yourself from sweating too much. I will have you make a dexterity saving throw as your hand misses one of the vine kind of snatches off as you make your way up higher.
Is this an effect that I can see?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. Let's see, Dex. That's 15.
Okay. You are able to, as your kind of hand slips off of the vines and it snaps in your hands, you're able to kind of catch yourself with your feet, keep your steadiness, and pull yourself up the rest of the way. And you are the first to arrive on the second mountain. Are you all following, or are you adjusting your strategy?
I look at Branwen. How strong does she look?
I'm more of an acrobatics kind of gal.
You recall Branwen getting knocked the fuck over by the grappling
Yeah,
hook.
Thing was
I'm gonna
strong as hell.
full strength.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
So you
look at
get
these muscles.
advantage on strength checks.
Sick. I'll go next, I guess.
Okay.
Could I,
You
by
can
any
make an
chance, lower
athletics
down the
check,
rope
two in
so that she'll have
sequence.
to climb up as hard?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of those was a natural 20.
Oh, but I can't hear you.
Let's
Hold on one sec.
go. Uh-oh.
Beep
Oh
boop.
no.
Hotty deedly dot do da da da. Boop. It's my pan flute.
I can
Boop,
feel my blood pressure lowering.
boop, boop, boop,
My blood pressure is out of this fucking world.
boop, boop, boop,
You should listen to pan flute music. It helps bring it down.
boop, 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 boop,
Terrible.
boop, boop,
Actually, Randy wouldn't say
boop.
that. He'd be like,
Yes, yes.
You should play the was it the Cisco hold music?
The what?
Boo 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 boo
Yeah, continue with that.
boo 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 boo. Let's see if I can find it.
You should play the Blues Traveler. Except instead of a harmonica, it's a pan flute.
Okay, I finally hear you.
Boop, 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 boop,
What did you
hooray.
roll
boop, boop, boop,
to
boop, boop, boop.
climb the
I was playing the
first?
pan flute. I got a natural 20 for a total of 20 on my first one.
Nice. You may make your second roll with advantage as you find yourself just kind of running with the momentum as
Is
you
that
pull yourself.
double advantage?
Were you
Full
always rolling with
She has a
advantage?
full strength.
Well, I got the bull strength.
Oh yes. Sorry, there was a moment where I wasn't really hearing things. Then no, you just get advantage.
Oh. That is a 17.
Okay. Without any issue, you are able to pull yourself up the vines and greet your pal Dunk at the base of the next mountain.
High five, Dunk. Thanks, Randy.
Who's going next?
Dunk, can you throw down the bag of holding?
The entire bag.
Yeah, just for a second.
I'm going to very carefully aim and drop it.
I'm gonna try my best to catch it.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
No, wait.
Just a check, because this is
What?
not a saving throw. You make a check, dexterity check.
Me or Dunk?
You to catch it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a solid.
Nolan, make a death saving throw.
It's gonna be a solid 3 for me.
All right, hold on 1 second.
Oh, I just dropped this off the mountain.
Does everything come out of it?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, fucking Christ.
I didn't think this through very
You,
well.
I'm just standing there like, why would you do that?
you see Doug just
I thought he was gonna get
and
me.
you slowly turn like
Dunk! Dunk, why would you do that?
He said he was gonna catch it.
Something bad's gonna happen.
I'm getting ready to argue whatever's about to happen.
Putting on your Karen wig.
Chris, you understand terminal velocity, correct?
I don't. So it's gonna be 15d6.
Terminal velocity
Wait.
of a light bag.
It weighs 15 pounds no matter what's in it.
Yeah, but that's also not gonna,
It takes
explode when it hits the ground.
it
It's
takes
fabric.
45 damage. Um,
Anybody have mending?
I do.
That's fall damage based on a person, though. This is gonna be hitting the ground with less force because it's much lighter and also probably has air resistance because it's a floppy old bag.
it's falling 150 feet.
Yeah, so if you drop like a purse off of the
Well, it's
Eiffel
like the
Tower,
whole
it's not gonna
dropping
explode
a
into
penny off
bits.
the Eiffel Tower and killing a person with it.
What he said.
Yeah, but a penny doesn't have as much air resistance as it's falling. Twitch viewers, get in the chat.
I'm gonna say that a bag being dropped off of a mountain 150 feet, and taking 45 points of bludgeoning damage as it falls to the earth will rupture the bag,
This is bullshit.
um,
I'm gonna
and
fight you on the.
scatter its contents across the base of the mountain. So it's all at your feet, Willem, and everything that was in the contents of the bag is now on the floor of the mountain.
I wordlessly like just look up at Dunk, and I assume he's just standing there like having dropped the bag. And I look at my hands, and then I look off the side of the cliff and briefly consider throwing myself off of it. Um,
What was in the bag?
Everything.
Like basically everything.
I pick up the
Well,
bag. I cast mending on the bag, a cantrip of mine, and I start picking up everything. Like I assume
Wait,
all of the gold, all of
yeah, I'm
everything.
hands and knees.
magical
Right.
items can't be destroyed like that, though. Come on, Chris.
You're doing
It's
something.
fine. It's just gonna take 45 minutes to
I'm
clean
just
all
like
this up.
hands and knees, using my arm as a giant like rake and pushing everything into the bag, including dirt and sticks.
Yeah, a little 52
So
card pickup.
I'm now reading even more. Let's take a quick break.
I I
Randy
don't think
didn't
they
know.
were
Randy didn't know
Alari's
you lost
journals.
them. Don't tell him.
They were just journals that we found that were written in Celestial.
So just
I
to
can read
quickly
Celestial.
recap, the after dropping their bag of holding 150 feet from one mountain to the other and failing to catch it, it did rupture, scattering its contents across the astral plane. We have confirmed this against Reddit, and feel this is the best course of action, given
Best.
their choice to do such a thing. Um, and yeah, so the party has now been reasoning with anything that they might not have been carrying on their own person versus what was in the bag of holding.
Wait, I feel like I actually read one of these books at one point.
You did.
What if
Oh yeah.
on
What
the
did it?
way down, Willem catches the bag with Mage Hand?
You made your attempt with your dexterity saving throw.
Yep, that's what I thought. But just what if things were
That's fine.
different?
Who needs them? Who cares about Alari? Not me.
So
Not
for
Randy.
We also don't know
context,
that they were Alari's journals. They were just really old ass journals.
could you
Written in
share what you
Celestial.
did lose?
Um,
Yeah,
um,
the journals are Celestite, uh,
Money.
all of our money. Well, except for they've got a little bit of money on them,
100
like
gold each.
yeah,
our allowance.
each. Um, a bunch of gems that were worth a bunch of money. Um,
Some more money.
yeah,
But
the Misthold. I have a Misthold silver locket. That was a gift from the people of Misthold, and a Watham family signet ring that I guess was on, or like we found in the Watham like manor.
It's not a ton.
Randy, you have been to the astral plane before, so maybe Adara could help you get that stuff back.
Just climb up the mountain, you idiots.
Maybe.
I will, fully armored, begin to climb up the mountain.
So I will have you make
I'm kind of
athletics check at disadvantage.
as he starts climbing, I'm gonna go. I was there for a little bit. I got that. The only reason I got there was because Drakenboss sent me. There's no way that I could just get there again. I'm just going on.
Cena's gonna come up
I'm just
and
laying
put a
down.
hand on your shoulder, Randy, and just be like, "We hear you. We hear you."
Oh my!
Okay, so I rolled a nat 1, but with my ability that is a
Let him
9.
die.
A what?
So I rolled a nat 1, but with my +8 to athletics, that is a 9.
Okay, you still have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I have found a nice sunny spot up at the top, and I'm just laying in the sun.
Am I making the
Warming.
saving throw at disadvantage, Chris?
Yes, because you are armored.
Okay, well, I rolled a 15 and a 16 with my -1 in dexterity. That's
Okay.
14.
You are able to catch yourself and steady yourself, though it is taking you quite a long time to climb up the vines. So I'll have you make another athletics check to rise the final 75 feet.
At disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
That would be a 12.
And now
Sorry,
I'll have
11.
make another dexterity saving throw as you're kind of scrambling up and continue to kind of slip and your feet giving way and kind of snapping below you given the weight of your armor.
6.
Unfortunately, you are unable to catch yourself, and you find yourself hurtling back towards the
Oh, so I'm just
earth.
gonna die.
Not
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
necessarily.
Oh fuck!
Not necessarily. You find yourself hurtling back to earth.
How high am I from the top at this point?
You're less than half. You're almost there, but given how
I
you're
will misty step to the top of the mountain.
okay, I'll allow that. Yeah. So you
But I
find
did just almost die a little bit.
yes, you find yourself kind of hurtling, and as your foot cracks through another vine, you manage to kind of snap your fingers, cast the spell, and kind of like steady yourself on the top of the mountain. Just like
I
Willem
did
is
have
just
a
like
backup. I was gonna save you.
all the blood just drained from his face.
you were only gonna take 49 damage.
That wouldn't have killed me, but it would have been not a good situation.
Yeah. Randy or Cena? Cena goes, do you want me to go next?
Yeah, you can go.
She will attempt her athletics
I
check.
have the pan flute out and I play Hot Cross Buns and I cast Bardic Inspiration.
She doesn't need it because she rolls a 15 and a natural 20, and she kind of quickly pulls herself up the rope and then even like kind of does a somersault over the edge of the cliff and lands in a nice little pose before pulling herself up and dusting herself off.
Show off. Dude. Dude.
Just,
Dude.
I'm used to this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
I could
Okay.
use some of that.
Can I transfer my Bardic Inspiration down to Randy instead?
I'll say that you didn't cast it and that Randy can now have
Okay.
I pull my pants up and I start climbing.
it. Make an athletics check.
What is Bardic? Whoop! That one.
Yeah.
I get a
Make
plus
a
7 though.
make a dexterity saving throw.
He just started, so it's not allowed to fall.
Yeah.
9.
Unfortunately, as you kind of just begin to get yourself underway, your large body just struggles to find a foothold in the vines, and you end up tumbling about 50 feet. And that will be
Not great.
please hold 17 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground.
Oof.
And I will need you to do so again.
Will do. $12.
Could you add
Wait,
inspiration?
what? Yeah, what is inspiration? Is that a
It's a
1d6?
D8.
Add a D8.
D8. Holy shit. 20.
Okay. And now you managed to get just about halfway up, and I'll have you make one more athletics check to pull yourself up
Nat
to the top.
20.
There you
Let's
go.
go.
Brandy arises, pushing himself over the edge of the cliff. He looks terribly bruised. Cena even goes, "Oh God." And you all find yourself on the top of this mountain.
Do you do you need some healing, pal?
Nah, I'm probably good.
Okay. You look a little bloody.
Yeah, it's smart.
It's just road rash on like one side of his face.
I look horrible.
That has taken a fair bit of the morning, but Willem, you are able to, with the help of that map that you found from another pilgrim, largely guide the way through this particular series of mountains, and it'll kind of take you through much of the afternoon, traversing the many difficult mountain pathways. Um, you don't find any manner of like foul creature. You do find a number of symbols kind of left behind, wooden signposts of encouragement of previous pilgrims, kind of leading the way and making sure that you stay upon the path.
Just signs with thumbs up that say you can do it.
Yeah.
Or like a kitten hanging off
A
the
little
edge of something that says hang
Yeah.
in there.
There's a couple of signs that give you like classic hiker white people sayings like "You're gonna love the view from the top," and things of that nature.
And then is there never mind.
I can almost hear the specters of people doing the white people nod and smile and going, "Hi, how are you?"
Hey,
There's somebody also hiking, but they're playing really bad music off their shitty Bluetooth speaker, and they're ruining everyone's time. God, they're
Um,
listening to chain smokers.
oh yes, with the sticks. Randy, was there something
Why
you
is there
wanted
an
to do?
orange peel up here?
No, I was just gonna make like an Elden Ring joke when like you see those messages and they're just
Oh,
like
yeah.
butt cool.
Try finger butthole.
Or when there's a skeleton and there's like, hang in there, man. Those are my favorite messages.
Um, for like a temple for all the gods, this is very inconvenient to get to.
Probably means that it's like a pretty good temple though, right?
Sure.
Certainly hope so.
I play a little hiking song on my pan flute.
All
Oh,
right.
so you're the
Kidding.
guy.
I'm using my fiddle now. Just do
Oh,
a
so
little hiking
you're
song.
you're the
You're the
Bluetooth
one with the
speaker guy.
Ding, 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 ding.
Inevitably, you come to a rickety looking rope bridge. And on the other side, you can very clearly see a ruined tower on another bridge, on another mountain, rather, over the side of the bridge.
How far
Hey,
is the expanse?
It's about 200 feet across.
Randy, look, isn't that a thing?
Wait, what?
A tower, ruined tower.
Oh shit, yeah.
Fine.
We
We're
did
like
it.
halfway there.
Nice. All right, let's cross this bridge.
Yeah,
Certainly nothing bad will happen to any of us on this rickety
Yeah,
ass
who's the
bridge.
heaviest?
that would be me.
Probably Randy.
Or I get Dunk's
Dunk,
close.
Willem,
Or
and
the guy
Randy
wearing
are
full
rickety
Or
armor.
Willem is,
Yeah.
How about we let Cena and I cross first?
That seems smart.
Right.
I'll head over.
Cena will follow close behind, and you must make acrobatics throws at advantage, given your ballerina and diminutive forms.
That is a 16.
Okay. Cena rolls a 19. The two of you are able to navigate the bridge with relative ease, although as you cross it, both of you kind of stop at different moments and kind of grip white knuckling the ropes as it sways loftily a lot in the winds, and you kind of look down below you and just see nothing but the pit of darkness beneath you, and you look at each other and just press forward, leaving Willem, Randy, and Dunk on the other side.
Um, yeah, I'll go last again. So, rock paper scissors. I guess you two.
all right. I don't know.
Rock,
Paper.
paper, scissors
Shoot.
says go.
Wait, what?
What's-
Says
that-
go. What?
Who does that?
That's how we do it.
You're across the way. Why are you doing it like that?
That's how we do it in Conway's Ferry. But Dunk, you got scissors, so enjoy. Also,
All
where I
right.
come from, we call it stone, scissor, paper.
Stone
That's
scissors.
insane.
Out of here.
All right, Dunk, I will have you make an acrobatics check.
Oh god. Okay. What's my acrobatics? Oh, that's not bad.
Acrobatics.
13.
Okay. The bridge sways rather perilously. Some of the the planks look rotten and missing, but you are able to navigate across. It takes you a bit. You're clearly nervous and clutching the edges of the rope bridge, but for the most part, your nerves are on edge, but you're able to make it without much issue, leaving Willem and Randy on the other side.
I cast enhance ability once again on Willem to give him cat's grace. You got advantage on dexterity checks.
All right.
And doesn't take damage if you fall 20 feet or less,
I
which
looked
I'm
down
sure will help.
at
Into the void.
Yeah, Willem, you just look down and be like, "That'll help."
I'm gonna pat you on the forearm and be like, "Thanks, big man," and I start to walk over.
All right. Make a dexterity or acrobatics check.
Was that at advantage or no?
Yes, you get advantage, right? Wasn't that it? Yeah, you get advantage on dexterity checks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That would be a 15.
You navigate it with ease, managing to avoid all of the unstable sections and deftly skipping over any planks that are missing. And you feel confident given the abilities that Randy has imbued you with. And you kind of reach the other side, satisfied, smiling, looking confident.
Me and Cena exchange money.
I will cast the same thing on myself because my dexterity is ass.
Okay. Make an
I'm
acrobatics
gonna.
check with advantage.
You can do it. That's a bardic.
Randy.
I got
I have bardic
12, but it
inspiration.
could have been a nat 1, so
Okay. And you have bardic inspiration if you'd like to use it.
I do. 18.
You also, at one point in the middle, you kind of catch yourself, your foot cracks through one of the planks and dangles nervously in the void below you. But you manage to kind of pull yourself up and make your way across the bridge just as the sun begins to set on the far side of the mountains, but still gives you plenty of light for the mountains itself, or rather to see the tower itself.
It's gonna suck to get back out of here.
Well, that's what this slide is for.
Do
Yeah,
you want
there's a
to?
big slide that ends at Hylicera. Right, Chris?
Nope.
Takes you like 2 hours to go down.
It's really fun.
We can stay at that tower.
All right.
We'll go to that tower.
All right. You all arrive at the tower. It takes you basically the rest of the daylight to reach the kind of summit of this particular smaller mountain where the tower sits. And even from the tower, in the dwindling light, you can see the temple. It in all of its grandeur. You can make out a handful of like two very large buildings on kind of like connected mountains. You can't really see too much beyond that. There's kind of like this haze that passes over the mountains at this time of day. But for the very least, you can see your destination in turn. Um, and the tower itself is rather dilapidated, clearly worn by the centuries of the elements. And you can feel the wind whipping through at different intervals that cause like a whooshing noise in your ears as you make your way into the open floor plan of the tower.
Oh my god, open floor plan.
Can
Uh,
I
Hands on
look
his hip,
around?
looks
See
around and
if
goes,
this,
"This is nice."
can I try to derive the history of this tower by looking around it?
Make an investigation check.
I'm gonna look for anything dangerous.
You too may make an investigation check.
2.
Okay. You
Two.
find nothing, neither of you find anything of note. You do quick scans of the room and just go, this is quite a tower.
I will also investigate.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's not a 2. It's a 5.
You find nothing of note.
Sure is made out of stone.
It is.
Oh wow, yeah.
Any of you
I've
doing
got
anything before you head to bed for the evening?
three. Got 3 third level spells. I'm gonna send a message to Colette.
Okay.
Hey girl, hey. I'm in the Shimmerpeak Mountains. Pretty dope up here if you want a hiking trip ever. What's going on with you? Oh yeah. It's so awkward.
Okay. Hold on one second.
She responds hotly.
That's my sister thinking about
It's like men writing women and saying she breasted boobily.
she breasted boobly down the stairs.
Hmm.
um. Yes. Anyway, that was very funny. I'm still laughing at that. She responds, "Oh my god, hey girl, hey!" And says, "Oh my god, you're getting so close to Hyla. Are you coming here? Um, I could really use your help looking into this. It's what we talked about."
I'm just gonna face plant on the floor and just be like, oh god. And then I'll message her back. Hey girl, hey. Yeah, I suppose we can stop by at some point.
At some point, I need you now.
I'll use my last one. Okay, well, I'm kind of in the middle of something right now at the top of a mountain.
Okay. Sorry.
How bad are things going to be when I get there?
Oh, I have no idea. I just know that I'm on the top. I'm on the hunt of something good, and I could use your sharp eyes and wiser brain, big sis. It gets really patronizing at the end. Like you can tell she's like goading you to come. Like she's never said any of these things to you.
I'm just sitting there like, I hate her. I hate her. Yeah, that's the last of my spells.
I got a spell I want to cast.
And that is
I want to cast my 5th level spell, Commune. Which I get to ask my deity 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or a no.
all right.
I do receive a correct answer for each question.
Okay. I would like you to describe to me how you set yourself up to cast this spell.
Okay.
And is this information that you want others to hear, or are you asking them in your mind?
I'm asking them in my mind. I
Keep
kind
it
of
secret. Keep it secret.
Everyone?
walk away to like I stare over at the tower or at the temple.
Okay.
I clear my mind, kind of meditate for a bit, take a deep breath, and then ask the questions.
All right. I will have
Very
everybody
simple.
but Brett go
You
on
son of a bitch.
mute. You clear your mind, cast the spell, and you feel this faint humming in your mind, pushing out some of the darkness that has been creeping in of late. Your vision clears for the first time in several days as you stare out at the mountain range before you, see the temple ahead of you, and ask your first question.
Will I find what I need at this temple?
Yes.
I take out the book, the lore, the big book, and I say, "Does this book hold any answers for me in my quest?"
She can only say yes or no.
She can say unclear, but that's like only if it's like beyond her knowledge.
Unclear.
Holy shit, this book's crazy. Okay. Ooh. Hold on. It also says in a case where a one-word answer could be misleading or contrary to the deity's interests, you can offer a short phrase as an answer instead.
Ah, then I will amend my previous statement. Instead of unclear, she replies, "It doesn't, but it will."
Um, am I a good cleric?
You can be.
I stay there for like 10 to 15 more minutes and then I go back.
All right. The power fades. This darkness returns to your mind. You feel a little uneasy with the knowledge gleaned as Randy walks back to the campground. As Randy walks back.
Guys, guess what I realized I could do?
Poop your pants.
What?
There's a soundboard function.
Oh, we know all about the soundboard.
Oh, you
I thought that
don't.
would take longer.
You don't want to know about our.
All of you
Brand new
witness
burger.
as Randy returns to the campground.
16 cowboy.
Are any of the rest of you doing anything before slumbering?
How does Randy look?
Randy, how do you look?
I look fine. A little I got a lot on my mind, but I'm looking okay.
I've got a lot on my mind, and well, in it.
Yeah, y'all, I'll take second watch, so.
I can grab first tonight.
Yep, I'll take third then.
Do we have 3?
3 watches.
How many watches do we need?
You can do it in
love to
2.
get it. Okay.
Yeah, keep sleeping. Keep sleeping.
Sorry I dropped all of our stuff off the side of the mountain.
Sorry, I didn't catch all of the stuff that was dropped off.
I
the side of the
blissfully
mountain.
forgot that for a second.
It seemed like a really good idea at the time.
It seemed like a really good idea at the time.
It seems like not a good idea from a common sense point of view.
It's cool.
Thanks, Randy.
All right. Randy, you're taking the first watch. Go ahead
Sure.
and
Do either of y'all need some spell slots back? Just
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm about to sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
and go ahead and make a perception check.
2.
Your
It's
watch
fine.
proceeds uneventfully.
No. Sorry, not 2. 6.
Okay.
Oh.
Your watch proceeds uneventfully.
Yes!
And you are able to kind of idle away the few hours, kind of looking up at the heavens, the faint glow of the Feywild's aurora, casting very colorful shadows across the mountaintops, with the glints of color kind of fading in and out and giving you passing views of the great temple that lies not far from where you are right now.
Cool.
Right.
I'll go wake up Branwyn up at the end.
Nice. Branwyn, you take over the watch. Make a
Can I
perception
talk
check.
to Branwyn real quick?
Sure. Do whatever you like.
Hey, so I've noticed that you're spending some time with Cena.
Everybody else go on mute.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I how's she doing? She
Good.
talks to me sometimes, but I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
no,
rare
she's
that she
good.
finds like an actual friend ever. So it's cool
Oh.
that you're doing that.
Oh, okay.
How's she
We
doing?
just stare at each other. Yeah, no, she's doing good.
What are you guys doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I
You getting up
mean,
early and shit? Like,
yeah, we're trying to make me less useless for the team, you know. Just training, just training.
like fighting in knives?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I insight check her?
What are you trying to
Sure.
glean? What are you trying to glean?
I'm just trying to see if like she's not telling me the whole truth.
Branwyn, you can make a deception or persuasion roll. You don't have to say which is which. Just say the numbers.
I'm trying to figure out if I'm lying right now. I'm like, deception or persuasion?
Depending on what you're doing, but don't tell me.
That is an. Wait, do I just tell you the numbers?
Just the number.
8.
18?
12.
Okay. Yeah, she seems like she's telling you the whole story, Randy.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good night.
Night, Randy.
I can go to sleep.
All right. Branwyn, go ahead and make a perception check as your watch begins.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. love casting spells.
That is a 24.
Okay. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary, but as you kind of scan the horizon of the campground, for the first time, you note a heap of sorts of what appear to be skeletal remains perched alongside the side of the tower.
Yeah, I'll go look at those.
Yeah, so as you scan the remains, you find like basically a pair of individuals that are intertwined with a satchel by their side. You open the satchel and find a small journal, and very similar to the collection of artifacts that you found in the possession of the pixies, a pair of carved stone, like kind of coins almost, like they're stone coins bearing the symbol of Phalor. Um, and the journal dictates their journey through the mountains, and ultimately that the one companion, Ernest, um, broke their ankle and could no longer proceed. Um, and his traveling companion, Faith, remained with him in the hopes that someone would come along to provide them aid and comfort. And you get the sense that as the journal entries become fewer and further between, that they ended up succumbing to the elements out here on the mountain.
Damn, that's crazy.
Oof.
I'll just take the coins and I'll just put them by Willem and hang out until it's time to get up.
All right. The rest of your watch passes without any issue. However, Cena does get up bright and early, give you
Yep.
a curt nod. And before long, the rest of you also rise and find your companions, Bramwin and Cena, already milling about the fire, um, starting their days.
Hey, Willem, I found some depressing skeletons. I gave you their coins.
Thank you.
Yeah, it has your god thing on it.
He's not my god.
Now it sounds like you're getting angry about the whole,
I'm not angry
killing
about it. You're
everyone
just
thing.
very like, oh, he's your god. Tormund was nice to me. I let
Sorry, I
go.
was trying to give you something nice from these
Well,
skeletons.
you stole it from the dead, so
Okay, I'll go pick them up and put them back.
you two are having a lot of early mornings lately, huh?
Y'all sleep a lot.
Okay. Respect.
What? What? What a what a bitchy response. That's funny.
Willem sort of turns his back and goes to the pot of scramble that he hopes there is.
All right. Anyone else doing anything as they start their morning?
I'm good.
No, yeah.
All right. It takes you the better part of the morning as you clean up camp and make your way down this particular mountain. But after some time, you find that a pair of mountains loom ahead of you, larger than many of the others you've passed up until this point. They seem almost attached to one another, kind of like the rare chain of peaks that you've seen in the range up until this point. And near the summit of the highest peak is at this point hard to miss. You've been tracking it as you make your way through the cliffs at this point. A grand cathedral of molded stone kind of perched atop like a crown. You make out a handful of other buildings, namely like a row of kind of cookie cutter stone buildings dropped along more elegantly crafted structures. And for the first time, the path ahead is very clearly laid out. There are a number of floating stones, hewn seemingly from the mountains itself, that lead up towards the cathedral. And a stone sign carved near the base of this cliff face reads, "The Temple of Isolde. Those who seek the Eight find their answers here."
Hey, look, we're gonna find answers here.
Only if we're
Uh,
seeking the 8.
Yeah, I'll lead the charge as we go up the steps.
Okay. They are a bit distant apart. You get the sense that this is meant to be kind of like a final challenge for pilgrims approaching. Like there's only levitating stone platforms that form a bit of a bridge between the peak that you are on and the grand cathedral higher up. They move in kind of erratic patterns, requiring very precise timing to navigate. Um, are you doing anything? Are you observing them? Or are you just kind of charging ahead?
How many stones are there to hop between?
There are 12.
I'm gonna.
How far apart are they?
They're about 15 feet apart, each one. But they're large enough that like multiple people could stand on them. So like you can jump to them and not worry about like teetering off.
You want to show us how it's done, Cena?
Um, well, I would just uh, I would watch and see if there's any like irregularities to what they're doing. Just kind of sits there and scans, makes a wisdom saving throw, and does very poorly. They seem to just be random. So I would hop from one to one and hope for the best. And she will immediately fling herself off of the cliff towards the near towards the nearest platform, lands on it deftly and kind of spins, looks for the next closest one, and begins a series of jumps, and then finds herself kind of stuck in the middle without anyone to go forward upon. And then just kind of like sits there for a little bit and lingers. She goes and like shouts back at you. She goes, "There might be a pattern."
Willem like scratches his chin and he's like,
Like
"Wouldn't it be
what?
crazy if one of those was invisible, like an illusion?"
What's
That
the
would
pattern?
be crazy.
I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
would like to try to discern the pattern.
Okay,
I would also like to.
you can make wisdom saving
Yeah.
throws.
Yeah, I'll discern the pattern.
Saving throw?
I got that pattern.
Check.
Saving
That's
throw.
so
Check.
sweet.
A check. Sorry, it's a check.
Yeah. Okay.
Total of 21.
Not
Natural
one.
20.
Bramwin, you
21.
can very clearly see, which will give you advantage on an acrobatics check to navigate the platforms with ease.
All
If
right,
you
I'm gonna
rolled higher
start
than
like
a
pointing this
15,
out
yes, you should share the
to
pattern
Randy.
with everyone, which will give them all advantage on the acrobatics check.
All right, I'm gonna go start hopping.
All right, make your check.
That is a total of 23.
Okay. Randy?
I got 12 for acro. Oh, I get advantage.
Yes.
14.
Dunk?
19.
Willem?
And can I like hold out
You
my
check
arms
with
to like
advantage.
help
With
him?
advantage. You do not have disadvantage. You have advantage because Bramwin has pointed out the pattern to you.
It's a check or a saving throw. Sorry.
It's a check.
All right. 13.
Okay. All of you, after some time, are able to clamber up the stone platforms and inevitably find yourself at the base of this grand cathedral. As you're going to near the top of the stone steps, you find this rather bustling center. The temple itself is quite grand up close. And given your successfulness navigating the platforms, it takes you only about 30 minutes. But for those of you in the lower end are kind of lagging behind. So about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, you're able to finally reach the base of the temple. Um, the row of cookie cutter buildings that you saw from afar actually rest on the mountain below you, where like navigating to it remains a bit unclear at the moment. The buildings flank a trio of older, more ornate structure whose purpose at the moment is equally unclear. But from where you sit on the highest mountain, you can see there are quite a few people bustling about down there. It's a rather busy center. Adjacent to the grand cathedral that you now stand before is a rectangular palace of sorts with very nice shingled roofs and molded stone walls and frequent cutouts let in the cool mountain air, and you can even make out like even more people going about their business inside. The cathedral ahead of you is monumental. It is meticulously carved with intricate pillars that lift up the arched roof that kind of ends at a dome structure, with each pillar bisected by a massive opulent window that stretches from floor to ceiling of stained glass. And the behemoth double doors are at the moment open to the mountain air, giving you a glimpse of the long and, your current perspective, empty chamber within.
Randy, where do we go?
We gotta find the high priest here.
Okay.
I guess
Uh,
we'll just go into the big old cathedral and look around a little bit.
okay.
Ask
Cool.
anyone who seems to have authority.
Is there like a high priest for all the gods, or does each god have their own high priest?
It seems like there's just, according to my notes, which could be wrong. It seems like there's just one guy or girl here.
All right. Well, you enter the temple itself, and the mountain air lends itself a bit of a chill inside, and you can hear this kind of like constant rush that seem to hum through pipes that are etched, like and kind of attached along the walls that give a gentle resonating hum for all who enter. The vastness of it is a bit awe-inspiring, especially for those of you who aren't Branwen. It is by far the largest building you've ever been inside of, with sunlight filtering in through the stained glass windows, casting this kind of kaleidoscopic pattern on the stone floor, that quiet hum resonating throughout the entire space. It has these very long, grandiose ceilings built of the molded stone with very arching pillars that connect either side of the walls. As you kind of scan the temple surroundings, you note that the left-hand side is flanked by tall stained glass windows detailing the life of a young woman who inevitably ascends alongside Willem, who you note as Thalor. And the right side has a window dedicated to each of the 8 gods. What you do see is a young woman, a serene figure, crisscross applesauce to your left, perched atop one of the stone benches in front of a stained glass window of one of the gods. And she's just kind of, her eyes are shut and she's very clearly in quiet meditation.
I will sit next to her and wait for her to stop meditating.
Okay.
I would never interrupt.
All right. Your presence is felt, and so it does not take long for her to kind of open her eye. She blinks a few times and bows her head. Ah, more pilgrims to greet us here at the Temple of Isolde. You are most welcome. My name is Sister Tao Lin. Where do you hail from?
It's nice to meet you, and I'm sorry for interrupting your prayer or meditation.
It is fine.
We come
The Moonweaver
from.
speaks to me in the hour of night, and it is but early morning here. She kind of gestures up to Silas, the god of the god of night.
We all come from Yusan, from the material plane.
Well, um, that is most intriguing. It is not very common for planewalkers to arrive at the Temple of Isolde, but I'm impressed by your figure to have made it this far.
Look, well, yeah, we've kind of come here for a reason, some kind of guidance. I've been appointed chosen one by Adara, and I was told that somebody here would be someone to talk to about the role that I'd have, high priest or something of that nature.
Uh, Goodness. Oh,
Nice to meet you.
likewise. I am but a steward, so I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with God's champions, though I'm sure you've come to this place given its history as an ascension of another one of your own, if what you say is true. Isolde herself was a champion of Thalor, and she gestures to one of the stained glass windows, which shows a portrait of Isolde and a white heart in the background. Um, you claim to be a cleric of Adara. Priest Ricard is certainly the most well-respected cleric of Adara at the temple, and he does host evening gatherings in the temple, in the monastery below. But it occurs to me that you might. Who sent you here exactly? What brings you
Annabeth.
here? Annabeth.
Annabeth, the high priestess of the temple in that one city we were in that I already forgot the name.
Overhaven.
Yes,
Overhaven?
Silverhaven.
Silverhaven.
Yes.
Silverhaven.
If Annabeth sent you here, then you likely wish to speak to the High Absol, Grigori.
Yes, yes.
He leads the absolutionists here, um, and I'm certain if what you say is true, he will want to speak to you.
What is an absolutionist?
The absolutionists, you're on. Do you not have those on the material plane?
Do I not?
You have never heard of the absolutionists, but Bramwin is
Oh,
familiar. Um, but just if you do not have them, the absolutionists are a divine order. They are trusted with ensuring the faith of the Eight and ensuring that our clerics are practiced, respected, and that the histories of our respective faiths are upheld in a equitable manner. No god is above another.
seems like a group of people I'd like to get to know.
Well, if you don't mind waiting here, um, Father Grigori is often, oh sorry, High Absol Grigori is often busy, but I'd be happy to see if he's available for a conversation for someone who claims to be a chosen of Adara.
That would be very nice. Thank you.
Very well, please wait here just a moment. And she will usher off to the right into a large doorway that flanks the side of the chapel where the gods' stained glass windows are.
That went well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is nice.
I guess I don't know. I guess we just chill for a little while here.
Yeah.
Chris, what was that you said about a white heart on the?
Yes, a white heart is in the background of one of the stained glassed windows with Isolde.
Because
When
there was
you
a
say
white heart on that journal that I was reading.
There is.
Could I? Is there anything else about it that strikes me as that like stands out?
As you inspect the stained glass windows, you reason very quickly that they are a retelling of the story that Bramwin shared earlier. Isolde's journey through the mountains, her prayer, her 2 weeks of prayer to Thalor, her ascension to the celestial realm, and Thalor's like avatar greeting her and lifting her from her prayer.
Okay.
But the White Heart does feature in a handful of portraits that feature her. After a few moments of kind of sitting in the silent hum of the chamber, you hear a rich but gruff voice. You're the one they call Randy.
Yeah, I'm Randy.
Randy, please. My name is Hayab Grigori, and we are most welcome to have you here at the Temple of Isolde. Uh, Talon here tells me that you call yourself a chosen of Adara. And,
I don't call myself that. I am.
well, for now we will reason that you are calling yourself that. And if you would please join me in the office. Your compatriots here are chosen of gods as well, or they merely support you in your journeys?
These guys have been indispensable to me in my journey as chosen one.
Fair enough. Then you
I'd
all
like
may
for them
join
to
us.
join.
And we are grateful for your presence here at the Temple of Isolde. We understand that you must be tired from such a long and grueling journey. So if you will spare us just a few minutes of conversation, we'll make this very easy for you all, and you may go about your business once we have had the opportunity to talk.
Am I getting sus vibes?
Make an insight check.
I also like to.
That would be a 14.
That would be a 23.
Father. High Absol Grigori
Oh,
stands before you as a very elderly elf, or a ladrin rather. His skin is blotchy, and he has a very almost pale complexion, but not quite. It seems like um, it's just a very peculiar skin tone. But he is just very clearly the aura that he gives off is one of busyness, and that he's a bit impatient, but interested to hear what you have to say. He is balding. He has a lot of wrinkles. Time has clearly worn him and not treated him well. His pointed ears are drooping slightly instead of being rigid and erect. And he kind of slumps over in.
Chris, that was
That was a bad one.
a really easy one to avoid.
I know. I'm sorry. I gotta get better at the. I gotta buy a thesaurus, really. So he stands there in ceremonial armor, like he has this lightweight cuirass that sits on his chest and very drooping red leather shoulder pads as he kind of hunches over and gestures for you to walk through the doors that Taolin paced through.
We do. Or I do.
You follow him into a very intricate looking garden. That makes it a bit of a courtyard. It's an open air courtyard in this palace. And as you pass through the doors, you pass through a hallway and then out into this garden with a half tree stump embedded in the middle, where a handful of creatures and denizens treat and tend to the garden. They don't really pay you any attention as High Absol Grigori leads you through this garden and to the right into his office, which is a very warm, inviting space. It's filled with shelves of well-thumbed books and scrolls, and the large desk at the center of the room is cluttered with papers, and everything kind of smells of very nice leather and candle wax. He seats himself down and he kind of groans. He does so. Strains his back, and then he goes, Scribe Larkin, please do keep meticulous notes during all this, if you would, please. And you kind of look to your left and see a little kenku perched quietly in the corner, meticulously transcribing the high priest's notes. So why don't you tell me what brings you here? You claim to be a chosen of Adara. Is that so?
Yeah. Just looking to kind of discern my role as a champion. And
Well,
I was told that you would help by Annabeth of the Temple of Vidara in Silverhaven. And I bring out the necklace that she gave me, and I go, she gave me this, said it would help if you need proof that we talk to her.
this is most intriguing. The Temple of Isolde was built upon the former champion's ascension, blessed to serve Thalor in the Divine Realms. Ergo, you would not be the first one to journey all this way claiming the same. That said, I do not necessarily doubt that you believe that you are what you say you are. Few would venture all this way through such danger on the subject of a lie. It is a question if what you say is that of the divine right.
I guess you're right.
Hmm. So, the High Priestess of Silverhaven confirms what you says is true. You journey all this way to the Temple of Isolde. Seek an audience with the High Absol. And I suppose that I should be compelled to believe you. But what is it that you would have me do? What is it that you seek from the Temple of Isolde?
Um, well, Adara, when I spoke to her, I was in the astral plane for quite a while. We had a lot of conversations. And she sent me back specifically to prevent a coming apocalypse, something to befall all of the planes. Specifically, something with the material plane. She wasn't very clear. It's all very shaky. And I was given a quest to find Thalriel, who would give me answers. And in my search, it seemed that this is the location that I should actually go first to get more of a I guess guidance in my next steps as a this in this role, because I have no idea really what I'm doing. Adara is not a very clear person sometimes.
Kind of leans forward. You hear like this heavy creaking and the subtle crack of the ligaments in his back. And he leans for you. The gods' champions are meant to lead us, defend us, speak for us, and yet here you are seeking answers from the High Absol. You yourself, a proposed cleric of Adara and a champion of Adara, who seem to have little faith in what she tells of you, and very little in the vestiges of your faith. And he kind of gestures up and down. You say you're from the material plane, so I can only reason that the clerics of your realm are not as invested in spreading the good faith and will of their gods or goddesses. Is this correct?
No, they are. I am too.
Can you potentially share with me recent actions that you have taken in the service of Adara that would lead me to believe that you are a well practiced and educated cleric of her faith?
Sure. Yeah, I saved a cat once for this kid, and I've cultivated a very nice community with the help of my compatriots at an old estate.
Also, just
He,
yesterday he healed me and he made a staff. Um, is very cool. Sorry for interrupting.
no, yeah, that's true.
So you tell me that in your material plane it is more upon the acts of the good deeds that you have done and not the true propagation of the faith. Surely you run evening rituals with followers.
Well, he follows Thalor, and they're kind of
No, no. I could never claim such a thing.
okay. And these two are kind of, I let them. They're not really about anything right now, and I respect that. So it's just kind of me in this group right now. But I make sure to mention that Adara's pretty cool a lot. I like her vibes. So just making sure people are aware that she's a cool god.
He says that a lot
Goddess,
to a lot of people.
you have put me in a bit of a bind, Randy. If it is true what you say, and I am compelled to believe the likes of Annabeth, then you must be as you say you are. I find it very unlikely that a man of your stature would journey as far as he did from the material plane and through treacherous mountains to come here, seek the High Absol's counsel, and not be as he says he is. And yet still I am worried. I am worried that everything you said is true. And while I am a man of the absolutionists and a man of the eighth, and I am compelled to believe that what they do is of the utmost wisdom, I do not see wisdom in you, and I do not see confidence in you and in your role. You speak of disaster, and yet you come seeking our advice. If it is true what you say, then you must stand the trials, and we must assess what training you require so that you may be appropriately prepared as a true champion of Adara. It's Larkin. Send for Vikal Trinidad. I must speak to him at once. While
Uh,
we go ahead,
what? Forgive me, Greg. What do these trials? Um,
it
what are
is
these?
High Absol Grigori, and the trials are ones that we would put any cleric of a god through. And surely anyone who is a god's champion will be able to pass them with ease. And we'll understand what we must invest in you, Randy, of the material plane, to discern the training that we must give you so that you are prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. Vikar Tunidal will lead your trials.
All right.
As for the rest of you, who among the 8 do you keep? I understand we have Thalor, but the rest of you, I have not learned enough about you to understand who you keep.
I was sort of raised with no knowledge or care for the gods. It just wasn't sort of something that we did.
I see. And your name?
Dunk.
Understood. And young ladies, the gods that you keep.
None as well.
Cena also goes, yeah, not really been much of an 8
I
person.
talked to her about Adara a lot, but she's allowed to make her own choices.
Grigori kind of strokes a non-existent beard, just kind of pulls in his shoes. Very well. Willem, since you worship Thalor, I will advise that you seek out the priest Colon. He's in the monastery below, and he will put you to work with anything that he might need support on. You are most welcome here at the Temple of Isolde, but pilgrims do their due diligence, their fair share, and will experience spiritual, physical, and mental growth during their time here. The rest of you will serve me and the absolutionists. Dunk, did you say it was?
Yo,
You strike me as someone grown in the wilderness. Is this a correct assumption?
yeah, I can
Terrific.
handle myself.
Then you will serve Sister Tilly. She is a steward of Olea and serving the absolutionists for the moment. You may find her out in the gardens. And you too, young ladies. I'm afraid I did not catch your name.
Branwyn.
Brenwyn. Cena. You will serve the absolutionists for your time here, and for the moment, I would see to it that you report to the storage and the kitchens. We need assistance in this part of the temple, and you'll be much appreciated there. Should you need anything at all, please do not hesitate to seek out any member of the absolutionists. You can recognize them by the seal, as it appears that you are not familiar with our nature. The rest of you may go. I would have a word with Randy here in private.
Later.
Okay.
All right, you know where to find us. As we bustle out, I'm just gonna sort of rub up against Dunk and be like, "Did we just join a cult?"
As you all leave the
Hey.
room, go
Hey,
ahead.
wait. Willem, you should give Dunk a tooth or something. Just in
Um,
case.
I'm just gonna very subtly rip out a tooth and chuck it onto
The
Randy.
most subtle thing a man can
Yeah,
do.
make a stealth
And
check.
chuck it onto Randy's lap.
Okay. Achoo!
Oh god, it just came out.
Do I have
You're done. Hold on to
disadvantage?
this.
No, this is like a
Okay.
not type of like you're sneaking. It's a like sleight of hand check, but we'll make it
Yeah.
stealth.
Okay, that's gonna be a non-natural 1.
Okay. You sneeze and kind of pull the tooth out of your mouth, and Gregory
And then
speaks.
go, "Eh."
And he goes, is everything quite all right, son? We do not often have people pulling their teeth out of their mouths. Do you need us to dispose of this properly?
Weirdly enough, it has happened 2 other times, but it's still not often.
Randy likes to keep them for spell components sometimes.
We
I
must
do.
ask that you not engage in too much magic while you are here. This is a sacred place.
I would never, but he has to do that once a day, just so I can have the ivory from his tooth.
Make a
Yeah, they
deception
keep
check.
growing. It's like a shark in there. Bye, Randy.
3.
He rolled a 2. Just understood. As the 3 of you, or 4 of you rather, leave the room, the scribe Larkin returns and kind of opens the door as you're making your way to pass through. And the diminutive avian creature is flanked by a broad-shouldered, almost rotund hobgoblin, their arms the size of tree trunks but offset by an otherwise rather doughy physique. And he kind of lumbers into the room past you all and looks at you and gives you like a wry grin, a kind of soft smile. And he goes, "I heard you sent for me, your holiness." And the door is shut behind you, and I will have everyone but Randy go on mute.
I am
You
going
sons
to
of
listen
beans.
in with the tooth.
Yes, Willem, you can continue to listen.
Tooth time, tooth time.
I will be entering a trance, so you guys need to protect me. They also can't hear that.
Grigori gestures his hands, and he goes, Randy, please meet Vicar Trinidad. He is a high-ranking member of the Absolutionists and one of our finest combatants and trainers of warrior clerics. We do feel that your studies are best led by a man of his caliber. But your holiness, I've got stewards of Morn who don't know their day from their evening prayers. You can't be putting this on me at this time. We all must make sacrifices for the 8th Trinidad. But of course, your holiness, but you must hear my concern. A supposed cleric of Adara, who bears none of her vestiges, claims to be your champion. Yes, well, and if he's not who he says he is, then the trials will quickly usher him out, no? It is our duty, and you will look after the lad. Randy? Vicar Trinidad, do you have any questions?
No.
Fantastic. Vicar will lead you through the trials and your training over the next couple of days. We ask that you heed his every word, rise when he tells you to rise, sleep when he tells you to sleep, and whatever he says is by the divine's word. Do you understand?
I gotta do what he says for 3 days.
It is as long as it takes. Vicar
Yeah.
Trinidad places his hand on your shoulder and kind of squeezes it. He's at your height, like he is.
Oh.
You are no longer dwarfed by the people around you. And he goes, "Aye, I'll look after the lad, if that's what you would have me do, your holiness." Champion of Adara, eh? We'll see about that, lad. We'll see about that.
Okay.
And he will usher you out into the courtyard. And that is where we will pause today's session, as Randy leaves the office under the escort of Vicar Trinidad, and the rest of you go off to your respective locations. This is a fair time to tell you that in addition to leveling up last session, you will be spending a week of downtime at the Temple of Isolde over the next couple of days while Randy goes through his training. So if there's anything in particular you'd like to attempt to do during that week, please let me know. Otherwise, I will be DMing you some of the things that your characters will be up to over the next couple of days as you venture off to your respective places in the monastery. Specifically, Willem heading off to Priest Corlorn, who is in the monastery below in the mountain, and Dunk to Sister Tilly, who tends to the garden, and Branwyn and Sina heading off to the storage and kitchens to service there.
This
We
is
thank-
sexist.
Your women.
We thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Nat20Hot. We will be back on Wednesday at our usual time, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And until then, we hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and a very happy President's Day if you're in the United States. Thank you, and good day.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love